I'm focused. I've been watching for the omens. I've been listening to everything you said. It's been running through my head, locked and loaded. I got the feeling that you know it. Yeah, I've only just begun. I won't stop until it's done, till you're broken. So welcome to the fire. I'm the one with the lighter. Feel it burning through your veins as we're walking through the flames, getting higher. Bigger they are, harder they fall.
We return on the abandoned floating island, only populated now with you and Jonathan's undead troops. You battle against what was once, and you battled, towering, monstrous, black, smoky, bubbling, light purple flesh, tall, devil-like horns, woman with a tremendous bone scythe emerging from her arm. You gathered information from the remains of these structures, and they give you the idea that this was an elven stronghold or infirmary of some kind, housing, or rather an insane doctor, which explains the heavily mutated undead lightning tendril monster, clearly a creation linked to some of the papers gathered. Missing the elven architecture of these buildings around you, destroyed ones, but clearly of older form with elven writing and papyri-like paper, basically papyri paper. Or skin, which seemed to hold together under some close inspection. But as the group gathered together, discussing the next stage of their mission, two more bright beacons of light ascend into the void above. One from an island behind the first island you arrived on, but probably below, because you don't see the island itself. And the other far to the other side of the island, to your left, if you were to be directional for where you are right now. One Oscar above you in the island you're on turned off. And during the first 30 minutes of your arrival, you have been battling, avoiding, and now at a middle point, deciding to consider the stealthier option instead of brute forcing your way into the next spot. We return to the group. Oscar and Imric are walking back with scraps of papyri paper that are gingerly held in small boxes, able to be used as storage devices, holding together very fragile pieces of paper, both of which you guys have uncovered. I think mostly Imric. But you've given Jonathan a rest and a break from your reprieve, as you had been aware that the death of his hound had caused him some discomfort. Moki was eating the black and bubbling remains of the undead bone scythe, purple horn woman.
I forgot that character's right.
And no more fire monsters or ghost spirits remain on the island around you. You all recommute back together.
Oh man. I'm gonna look in the hole that the lady jumped into.
You can jump down.
No, lattice multiple times, isn't it?
Okay, yeah. And you see it very quickly goes to just embers. Like the oxygen in this place seems to just evaporate almost the moment you light the torch. But as it hits the ground, the tunnel's only about 30 feet deep, 35.
We should go in there and kill the person that stole the remains of the person.
Or find where she's heading.
But if you are like to do a kind of a circle around the hole, looking for light, what light trails it leads, you can tell that there is clearly two passageways
I jumped down.
down there. Oscar? lands. At about a 45-degree angle, there are two holes. Not directly opposite, but there's two different tunnels, each about 15 foot wide. Each look to be pretty unstable, but we doubt there's any tectonic activity here, so maybe safe enough to do.
Can someone give me an update of what happened last time? The demigod took over my brain. So I have no idea what happened in the last time.
Yeah, you're okay. Let's go.
I completely forgot everything.
You saved my life.
When?
It's not like me.
Since when?
As soon as we got in here, everything from that.
The entire book. We got in the book. Murky got stolen by a bunch of rock creatures.
What the hell?
You killed them.
Okay.
Northern had a bunch of zombies in here. We flew up to a second island. We found a compound. We looked inside the compound. There was a bunch of, you found like a bunch of burning skeletons. There was like a demigod or something. What? Not demigod, sorry, the daughter of a goddess.
That sounds like a demigod.
She didn't refer to herself as that. She referred to herself as some sort of patron to someone else. Patron to her master, his something.
That's the meta knowledge. So Murky and me sort of hit her enough that she fell into goo. Her body was then stolen by a necromancer that attacked us. Sorry, I'll go back to where we were. We were at this little elvish sort of looking compound, which is this building that we're currently standing outside of.
Dragon footholds able to push you.
You spent a solid. We found it's sort of like an infirmary area. There was a really gross person that Jonathan threw out the window. There was a whole bunch of notes that are really old and fell apart. We found one of Ray's sort of race in a cage in here, and he was living with his own feces for 2 years, which you teleported onto the material planet.
He's completely fine. I'm confident
You
that.
definitely jumped in directly and searched where he belongs.
Yes, definitely.
What else? What's been happening? Not much. Did you find anything in the papers that you looked through briefly?
I found a bit of a tangent of some of their earlier rituals, but not really anything to help us.
Okay. Well,
Jonathan's paper that he had in his hand, the piece that is left is the size of his hand.
we were attacked by a bunch of burning skeletons and some sort of scrunched up being, and then in the far bit of the building we found the lady with the side hands, and he attacked her unprovoked as he does. At the same time I think we went up there and there was like a pillar
Pointing to the large obelisk-like roof tower at the top of the...
You said a bunch of weird stuff that I don't understand. Sure. And then you punched the pillar, I think, and it died, and you climbed on the roof and started pushing over bits of the roof.
Also flashes are starting to come back to you, verbiage, words that you don't remember saying that still came out of you, like that same discordant thing that happened with your other Oscar in your brain, at least that's what you think.
I'm confused, you got
Riddles in Celestial mark up and down this obelisk, and now you're only just remembering that like they had been wiped from your brain for seconds.
been possessed by something?
He was. You know that thing that was in my sister? Like the big old angel of death or whatever? Yeah, that's a demigod. So basically...
Our definitions of what a demigod are very different.
I needed a way to enter here without actually, becoming a human. So I offered for it to inhabit my body so that this plane would eat it and not me.
You needed a way to enter me without becoming human.
Enter the book without becoming.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. Am I talking to the angel right now, or is this Oscar?
This is Oscar. I think.
So anyway, yeah, there's 2 other pillars around here, which is probably where we should start if we're looking for more things.
The angel makes insect noises.
That's gross.
Now you're remembering the pillar that you dispelled, the final thing before you helped the group, but even that doesn't work. The pillar was celestial for memory. And the riddle on the obelisk has something to do with memory, and now it's a little concerning. You can't remember why or what the text on it was.
You were going on about obelisk. What was that about?
Right. Shall we go finish off the rest of the obelisks then? I don't know. You had the idea.
I remember you said that there was more though.
No,
We should do
but it's
that.
kind of like a long,
I remember the other
kind of almost pipe box.
Well, we hunt down the lady
Hardwood,
who stole the corpse.
Should probably hunt her down to the tunnel.
You said a necromancer stole the corpse.
Right, so we killed the patron woman. And then
the dragon just scout around life and then came back not on your side.
yeah, we attacked by a bunch of really, really fast, like normal people. Cool. They're insane, but they were like not undead. Yeah. And a necromancer lady who briefly controlled his dragon.
So they're stronger than you, John.
Well, he immediately took control back.
Oh, so they were stronger than you at
I
this
think
point.
I'm just really, really,
It's
really
more of a
inefficient.
That seems so silly.
Well, it's how it works. Sometimes its own intelligence, it can't really protect itself.
So, like, no matter how weak the necromancer is,
Yes.
compared to how strong you are, you will never be able to gain, like, complete control over it.
Yes, unless they made it more intelligent.
It seems horrendously inefficient.
Well, luckily not everyone's a necromancer, and everybody kills them on sight.
Yeah, but like every bad person's a necromancer these days.
Well, she's running out of this current second.
Do you know what you went? There are 2 tunnels down there.
Not the one that leads directly up into the building right there.
Okay, let's go then.
The other one.
Okay, so that means you're right. There are 3 entrances. One out of the tunnel, which you just go into, and now as it goes down, he just starts to walk down one. And as you go down, you realize that there's the remains of the fire stick that had been left on the floor, shows another path. One looks like it leads directly out, not the one that also going. That leads into the dark path, which seems to have a downwards curve. The other one leads just straight out, and then you can see dark space, like it broke out straight through and out into the void. The other one seems to be going down.
Gonna look out and see if I can see her flying around.
Get your perception.
I'm good at these.
You turn around, you walk about like 200 feet down kind of at an incline. It's a 15-foot wide tunnel, so, but it's not a good gripped path. You slip a little, but it's mostly because there's so much loose rock that you're just sliding over it for portions.
Because it's slippery, make sure that you could
27. Who should move?
You do not see the faintest of a red cloak like that. You are noticing that there are living, floating creatures down there, but they are not the shape of a people.
Is there any, like, blood drops anywhere?
Okay, yeah. Do me a survival check. It is like, unless you're like lighting a new torch, which only lasts about 12, 18 seconds.
Let's go to give some light. Need something light. Damn. It's not good. There's not enough oxygen. No, it's no.
can all make light. Alright, give us a second.
That's pretty good.
my sword light. See it goes on fire.
Oh yeah, my knife goes on fire. Also goes on fire.
So, and you notice that
My knife.
I was gonna say your perdition daggers. They actually still need oxygen to combust. So you notice that it's mostly just a iron red, like a molten red serrated particle blade instead of there being much of a fire. Okay. You notice that the darker, dimly lit path that Oscar was walking down, the longer tunnel, seems to be holding the blood, but it's not blood. It's like it is like a coagulated, thick black vomit bile type of thing. You never specifically saw her get wounded, but you certainly were controlling the dragon and attacking her, so you just never saw her bleed. But that is some sort of internal ichor that is spread down the cavern. Oscar has yes, you saw Moki because he was inside the chamber, saw her. Emmerich was outside, Oscar was outside, so only Moki saw, but I'm just... He was dripping with light. He was dripping.
Are there two fires bleed black or red?
Red.
Did we find
like a really dark red.
papers or anything?
We did.
Seems you have a red idea, Oscar.
But we should really find this woman first.
There seems to be traces of evidence of her going down this tunnel.
Well, let's go.
They run down that tunnel.
He's running.
You run. You actually end up taking two sharp turns. First, it's like a kind of a turn deep right and sharp right, but it's still 15-foot wide as it curves. Then it goes back left. So you're kind of just back at a straight path at the angle you were turning.
Is this lady dangerous?
She is far from dead.
Who fought of him?
I'm not sure. I was busy avoiding getting stabbed to death.
Okay. Yeah. Is this lady dangerous?
Yes,
oh my god. Why is she dead then?
Why is she dead?
What? She turned to good, man.
The scythe lady patron woman, she is dead. This red robes person took her corpse.
Oh sure, but is the scythe lady strong?
Not particularly. You mean the one that's alive? So
No, the dead one. The one whose corpse was taken.
I think she cast a curse on me when she fixed.
Everyone casts curse these days.
Made me. So she has the ability to do that, and you fix it immediately.
She reeked of death. She reeked of decay.
I chopped her ear off, and then Ricky ripped her off.
She smelled of death.
Is there a reason
Tasted
they
blueberries.
claim a corpse then?
She tasted acrid acid.
No, I didn't want anything about this. But the
Rotting leather.
the people with knives that were really fast really wanted her corpse, so.
It's probably important.
It's always good to get in the way of crazy people.
It's probably a cult.
No, actually, that's how you get killed and tortured forever.
So you end up emerging, and you have a kind of downwards view. You're looking underneath some islands, but you're noticing, like, parallel to where you're looking, there is islands shadowing it, but there is a direct correlating beam of light in the path in front of you, out of the emerging hole, out of like the internal intestines of the island that you are currently on.
I guess.
But it's floating away, and that is probably, say, 3,000 feet. So at this point, you can't see the creature because she's probably obfuscated by the shadow below the island. But all of that light above it, you would be able to see. You would be able to see a shadow, but you can't see it. But below that light is the light that's
Wow, looks like he's scared.
and you see groups that black coagulated stuff all the way to its front.
Me. Yeah.
Cool. I can't.
Okay, so anyway, you said that that pulled out the book that you helped me find 5 seconds ago. You said that your angel speaks in bug.
I guess.
Yeah, well, this is all about a dude called Valiant Mocker who turned himself into a bug. Well, that's a bunch of bugs.
That doesn't ring a bell.
Okay.
Do you want me to read it?
Sure.
And he hands you, good job, Nick. He hands you a bunch of papers, but they are held in a small crate that quiet without. It is literally tatters of paper that is it's like rice paper, but it's
I know to make it a sword.
Yeah, this is pretty territorial.
Maybe you should ask him if he'd like to talk to you.
That guy's the book's magic.
So it's magic. You don't know book's magic.
it's this whole room's magic.
Another thing that's weird is that at the end of one of the papers, it indicates that the world is like a little fish boy that is obliged to go notes that he was going to be bullied.
Quote, if this is you, DeBrawl, and you're reading these notes, you flinch me. Suck it, you little weasel.
I'm really DeBrawl was a god. DeBrawl was an angel. He was like basically just a servant of the upper gods. He was told he had the planes and write notes about them. And they came back and he was like, hey, this is what I found. Everything sucks. And then he made a book of pure evil because everything he wrote in it was shit. And then
Very great.
well, there was like 5 of them.
It's 5 DeBrawls.
No, there was one DeBrawl. But he went with like an actual team, and then everyone else died. But then DeBrawl came back, and everyone was like, dude, that's Christ, you're fired. And then he got annoyed.
DeBrawl get a demon lord under his control.
Okay. But it's information.
The demon lord, by the way, Foster, that is definitely your religious knowledge. That can inspire us with the children of Imanta, who are 90% sure. That's like that was their beloved child, so yeah.
Okay, well,
Hey, sir, do you know anything about this?
And you hold up the ritual with
they see
you see the kind of small little gem along with the hilt of the sword. And I think you hear that like clicking, and then the voice of the dragon kind of emerges through it, and kind of much more deep, much more guttural, quiet, gentle, but still very deep. The presence.
I'm having 2 voices in my head. This is so good.
luckily they barely ever go to you, so it's not much of a
It's nice. It's really helpful.
This is the end of his ritual. One that would make me a lot stronger if we were in the Eastern lands.
That was the end of his ritual. That would make Switzerland stronger if we were in the Eastern lands.
Getting blessed by a god again would make them stronger. Yeah, the Eastern mind. Thank you, Swiftfield. That's really helpful.
Hey, JK.
He asked me the voices in my head for extra information.
You hear.
You want presents.
Is he like powerful?
He was creative, superseding the angels.
So he's like a bard. Why is he a bug person?
He dominated himself for necromancy and transmutation.
But why bugs? Is that just his thing? Or is there like a distinctive advantage that bugs have over every other type of form?
Influence. My influence.
Wow.
From the Prologue. The Prologue gave text. I gave the Prologue about the Prologue.
Daylight.
Intended that creature make strong, scared.
So it's your fault.
This was an elf with a target on his back.
I'm kidding, I know it's not your fault.
It was his fault.
Basically, Valium was an informant of the Brawl prior to his rejection. Rejection by what? I assume that's when he came back, and everyone was like, ew, go away. And then but he was like an elf or something, and he had like a target on his back, and he was like, hey, if a Furjar exists, I'm gonna try to become like them. And so he turned his body into an ant.
Ask him where this place is from before it was in the book.
I check it, you heard that.
You can hear what I said.
You can also speak through me. Cambria.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Yeah, he's one of the Cambrian elves. I have no idea nothing about this place on a daily basis.
You can do a check, but I can't tell you much in front of the other players. So I might have to be wrong.
I rolled an 8.
I will,
So that's probably not good.
I'll keep a hold of the book, but otherwise, I don't think I need this.
That is the short here.
I'm taking the part that actually I care about.
Okay.
And while Jonathan, you watch Oscar and Sister Imric have about a 5-minute debate on the text that they need to be informed of.
I think we should deal with the beacon behind us before heading to where the others are. Let's be quick. Time is too accelerated in here.
John, you're going to be alright without your dog.
I feel like my soul has been sundered. I should be fine for now.
You must have loved that dog a lot.
You see the bone dragon starts to actually climb its way down to meet you at the opening that you have walked beside its body, just kind of clinging to the outer edge. You now see its frame slowly glimpse the hole that you are in front of.
I doubt you'll let it, but I know the overwhelming feeling of anger and depravity that comes. So, use us if you need.
For now, we need to push forward and ignore these solvents.
Use us.
We need to reach the end.
Can you not resummon your dog?
He's dead.
What happened to the dog? Did his body just fall over? This is all I'm not saying was not. Did it disappear or?
I think the thing that would remain would be the sword, but even that looked like a distant, rotten version of the sword that it had in its mouth. It looks like it's now a rusted blade with the same carvings, but it's like really old.
Seems like such a curse. You didn't know of its existence before 3 days ago.
I think it has something to do with the other lives that we connected. With its death, I feel my connection to the wing.
It's probably another trick by the Banish God. So, well, I'm sure the feelings are real. Try not to lean into them too much. We wouldn't want a darker version of you to be running around as well. That'd be very unfortunate for all of us.
Maybe your dog will come back as a monster we have to fight. Like we're an evil book. Anything can work.
I think it was good.
The dog?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a nice dog.
Protected your children.
He was kind of cute.
Do you have your dog soul? Or the dog just like its origin? Or did the book capture it?
You know, I think the dog was just a dog.
I think it's part of the course that we find this dog again in this book and we can kill it. It seems like that's the day that's going on right now, I think.
Yeah. So it would be an opportunity for you to closure.
What I remember of the dog.
Well, you don't capture it.
Oh dear.
Oh, sure.
He was always waiting. Waiting for me to resume.
Well, now he doesn't have to wait anymore.
What happened to this ultimate version of you that I had to wait so long?
He died in a battle and never came back. So let's keep going.
I'll reiterate, because this happened 30 minutes ago, and you all definitely forgot. Hello.
I'm at Fallujah.
No fighting.
I'm sure of that.
I'm
at Fallujah.
Run away from the enemies.
That's fine.
So like gashes and like little guns.
Okay, well, you all immediately forgot the problem that we had. That's it. There's something wrong with this place. I'm making you all forget.
I've actually barely used any abilities.
Literally 10 minutes ago.
All my abilities come back.
I have like 12 rounds of rage left.
Okay, so we're not gonna fight anything. We're just gonna walk around.
Yes. That's good. Sure, all the time. It's highly ominous. You know, to touch on the memories.
15 freshly.
I abandoned my non-charismatic brother and just live forever. I live in
Now,
I didn't need to kill literally any enemy.
specifically, which way do you go? Down and left or forward?
I guess I'm turning around because we're going to the closer one, so.
The closer one is technically, like, it's hard to render the distance, but it's below you. That's the lower one. That's
in front of us and he
it's
said
like 500 feet. 500. You watch as the dragon from Monkey's Perch just breaks off and falls. Falls as fast as Oscar falls, so catches up to Jonathan, and then is about to excel past him. And Jonathan, you get the idea. Flashing on and possessing to this thing, giving you control with a charisma higher and with a body size larger, and maybe this thing can fall to match Oscar's speed. Dragon falling alongside human body, below, light.
Sean, just humor me.
You're on the outskirts of oblivion.
I'm aware. Just let it happen. I'm curious.
You have a demigod inside of you.
I get that. Just let it
Don't be
happen.
selfish.
Oh my! Just wait at least 10 minutes.
Okay. Yep.
Enter the dragon with a terminal.
Nice.
Go inside
Nice.
of the dragon.
I'm actually going to say, even though you wouldn't know this and you would assume you would have the falling speed that Oscar has, you actually get the fly speed of the dragon with your charisma.
Oh.
So that is, I believe, 60 feet base. Or 90 feet.
The dragon has 200 flight speed.
200 fly speed, that's it. Then you catch up to Oscar about, 2 rounds later after your merge.
When you're
And do you pull him back up to the group?
your dragon.
Or do you...
Yep, the old dragon.
I'm not letting him drown me.
Your Oscar is...
Drive, just fall beside me.
I'll grab it.
Dragon talons try to grab you.
Try to grab him to go avoid.
You have to just do a grab attack. Do an attack roll.
Actually.
You got plus the other thing, so plus 14.
33 strength, so that's plus 11.
Plus 26.
So
11 plus 9.
20.
Okay. So that's fair. I'll put a 20 in those. You got 20, yeah, 20. Alright, so that's 29.
Misses.
So it's been a minute.
You're still falling. You've got you've only fallen 1,000 feet. You're nearly getting into eye level with the lowest floating beacon, which is producing light. So you're getting low enough to see the edge of that. You're also noting that there are visibly 6, maybe 7 creatures floating around that island with wings. Big old wings. Some of them weird rectangular wings, but you keep falling. And also, you're actually getting propelled down faster. Every time he tries to grab you, you're just hitting that same speed that dragon is, so it's just shooting you down faster. So, where you would have fallen 1,000 feet in, you've fallen basically nearly 2,000 feet. And you're still...
If he wasn't letting up after like
a minute.
30 seconds, I just cast invisibility on myself.
Okay. What's Jonathan going to do now?
I'm just gonna fly up and let him die.
Okay.
He clearly wants to die. There you go. I can't do anything.
So you fall to Jonathan. You go back up to the hole in the the floating island where the room is. Okay.
Yes.
Where has Imric been going?
No, I'm gonna say, okay, let's see if I can hold you here. This isn't gonna work. Unless
You want to try and carry me?
yeah, I don't really, just like, put your front body off and I'll see if I have the capability.
He's trying to lift me right now.
Yeah, sure, I don't know.
So while you're floating, you try and lift him, and you realize he's surprisingly buoyant. Like you can push him up, but it's and you feel like Imric has way more strength than he normally does.
Oh, your leg.
Go with that.
You are
A2, right? And we're trying to get through B3.
There's one at C1 and B3. So the two pyramids, one directly below you and back the way you came, or one horizontal to you on the other side of the land masses in visible outline.
Which one are we trying to get through?
Group has been inconsistent, but I think Jonathan was the first one to say the bottom one.
The closest one.
The closest one. It's not close by much.
I don't know how Murky's gonna get back up, but sure, we can do the bottom. I can lift him on the Dragon Ball.
The Dragon Ball.
I am the dragon right now.
He can now carry a bunch of
Okay, that's good.
So as Jonathan is ascending up, you're watching Imric actually lift Moki off the ground and out off the edge of the island. He's just floating.
Toss me to the big island down
Now
there.
you have a 10-foot fly speed, not a 20-foot fly
I'll see
speed.
that far.
Okay, just prove me
Is this strenuous?
It's only strenuous because of the amount that you're able to hold. But in a way, it's manageable. But you couldn't do it for hours. You could do it for like 10. You only take 12 points of negative energy damage.
Okay, so I only take 6 because I'm resistant.
You feel that you feel cerebral the whole time saying, "I'm really curious. Let's do it." But Chicken is like, and at the moment you get zapped. Basically, you hear this, and then it just stops. Feel like distortion in your field. It stops very quickly, abruptly, and then you feel yourself falling again. And you can see now the beacon far away from you, high. You are high above it, and you're falling again from the top.
I was going to say, the plans aren't always infinite, so glad it worked the way I thought it did.
You see Oscar after Jonathan reascends. You see about the same time as Jonathan reaches you.
I will cancel my invisibility.
About 30 seconds after Jonathan reaches the perch, you can see the faint light of Oscar's spell that he casts on this weapon. Just on Cerebrial's blade, just slowly descending. Guys, we moves.
Wait, we only fall.
You, Jonathan, are able to look up and see him 100 feet per round.
How much does it fall damage?
Less than normal.
You're not really falling at the speed where you could take lethal, like dead level damage. You're not.
Okay.
But and now as Oscar is basically able to grab onto the edge of a dragon body just to catch yourself, because that's just poking out there, and he's able to fly.
Yo, everyone. As soon as you're at the bottom of the void, you go to the top.
You spoke.
Could be. Could be a way of getting a higher ground. Yeah, where are we going?
We're going to the small pyramid down there, in the very bottom.
Okay. Lead the way, Dragon.
You're able to use the islands as you descend to conceal your approach from the actual beacon and the light radius which you're in proximity to. So like you're getting visible rays of light from the beacon hitting you, so you take the shadowed part of the underside of the floating island as cover. You kind of descend down at angles. The dragon's wing often having to curl up in an unnatural way to buff it and hold you guys while the dragon moves basically upside down using cover. You notice once you are scuttling underneath the island which you started on, as you look down, high perception check people, especially Emily.
I got a 23 to stealth.
Beauty.
Because I got -3 on the wall.
That's really good.
And I got -4 because I'm a dragon, not a John anymore. I don't John anymore.
You'll see
-7. Become something else.
one really small pink fleck on that island where that beacon is. Small pink fleck. The beacon itself seems to be coming from the very center, from a pyramid-like shape with a square hole at the top, and that beam seems to be emerging out of. So a very decently tall pyramid, probably like the largest, still mostly standing structure on that island, and it's a pretty small island. It's about a quarter of the size of the last two that you've been on. But you notice two relatively big-sized pinkish blobs on the island that are like moving around the outside of this pyramid area, moving around the edges of the street. Like this whole thing has been uprooted from the ground and just moved into a different plane where you are now. So you see some aerial floating creatures, but they are pretty far away below. They are about maybe 1,000 feet off the actual islands. They're closer to you in proximity. But there are these ground-hugging, pink, strange things on the ground. That's what you see. But do stealth means that nothing at this point. So. So you see some
Pink strange things. 23, and then it's -5 because I'm moving. So actually 18.
Yeah, so 18, but 23 means not moving. Yeah, I'm assuming you're doing your perception checks and stuff while you're still.
It was -10 on me. Well, I'm moving full speed there. Okay, it's -5.
18. Let's just Google it.
You could just go. I could just Google it. I could make that.
Well, while you guys have
moving full speed, yeah, it's like a -10.
while you guys are not moving currently and have investigated what you're going down to, discuss what your plan is for your next move.
We're gonna do that.
Okay.
We're gonna
All right.
we're gonna have one. Since you want to stealth in, you must leave this. Okay, because Monkey. I don't think it's very stealthy.
I would like to disagree, but I can't.
Are you not spending?
Yeah, I could be, I guess. Here, let me try.
No, that's okay. We shouldn't.
I just stealth a lot of sitting on the
You're
back.
sitting on dragon.
You're still singing.
You're still
trying to hide.
You're quite loud.
No, shame. Doesn't matter how stealthy you are, because there's nothing to hide behind.
So we just go into the temple and destroy the obelisk.
Sneak in, destroy the obelisk, and I will fly you out.
Aye, aye, Captain.
What if you, put me over it and I dive bomb the obelisk?
Well, it took 3 rounds for us to destroy it last time.
I was probably rolling bad.
Well, I mean,
I have to roll a d20 every time I do something. And if I get low, then sometimes things don't happen.
I also roll something, but it's like a piece of my brain that's loose and it spins.
So mine is.
If you want, I could drop you all off from the sky so you fall onto the obelisk, but I think everything you would see.
It's nice enough.
It could be easier if you just walked up.
But yeah, I can get this where I can jump down to perfectly fun if you want.
What would you prefer?
Those little pink things. Oh, those little pink things.
What if I make a distraction and just run in circles so they chase me?
The point is we're not going to fight.
According to Emergency 40 died once today.
Well, if I
can bring you back.
now that I know jumping off this thing won't kill me, I can just jump off
This is very easy to scare.
and go to a different island.
Or you just keep
I'm controlling you fall.
But I won't get hurt.
He got hurt from falling.
There's a little bit of damage.
You get hurt when you hit the bottom, apparently.
It's more like there is a field of energy between the bottom and the top that passing through kind of like wigs your system a bit.
My system is very strong.
Yeah.
So, glides underneath and grabs the bottom of the island.
Okay, whoa, jump in.
So, we're walking here at the bottom of the island.
Yeah, you're not squatting underneath.
We're just sitting.
I'm happy.
Back legs, hands onto the bottom of the island.
I'm happy going through the front door. I can even make a bit of noise and keep these guys hiding pretty fast.
Well, the Lord has destroyed the obelisk, right?
Oh yeah, that's really.
So what's the pyramid?
The total height of the building is probably 55 feet.
Do none of you have dispel magic?
You are just the only person who can dispel magical energy.
Ugh. You guys really need to learn how to Well, I wrap my soul around my fists, and then I punch really hard.
So you're gonna break it up.
So you're also
You swing with your extremely powerful magical sword instead of using your fists.
It is epic.
Does it not take magical energy for you to surround your fists and your sword?
It's free.
Incredibly impressive.
Yeah. It's crazy the things that having your soul ripped into two pieces does for you. It really teaches you a lot about yourself.
They like me, but you're all depressed now.
Yeah, look at my life. But, you know, here's what it is.
Doesn't seem like
Well, there's going to be some... I'm happy to try to go through the front door. Or maybe Moki and I go together. You drop us both off. Moki can be loud, and I'll just sneak through the front door, and then I'll just start spelling.
Moki, do you want to come for the floor?
I think I'll go with him and be the distraction so he can be stealthy. And Demrick, you should...
I can let both of you easy. What's this?
Yeah, you should go with him. If he gets caught, then you stay safe.
What's this? I got the murky. Grab him and red Oscar.
How about we just leave the drug?
His ass just like...
Maybe try to get somewhere that Moki can lead them to so that you can pop out and kill them all. Or you can like pop out and be our emergency taxi as we go.
Just really find a way to...
Are you like on fire, Brandt? Or like...
Oh, you can knock it.
Dragon plenty of that once you get ready. You always want to
Boom, right.
I don't have any of that.
The city's annoying.
However, if we had the rest, I would be able to do that.
You can only breathe fire once a day.
You can breathe fire.
No, I do not have any organs to do it. Anyways, you want me to drop you off and I'm digging for the floor instead, even though if we just dig up and pop out in the middle, it would be safer, but you guys want to just go for the front entrance and be a distraction.
Where's the middle?
Suggestions doing both.
Yeah, I want to do both.
Right.
Because sometimes it's nice to have a backup.
Alright, I will start flying up.
I was getting higher than me, no problem. You can follow me.
I don't think you can.
Yeah.
Are you following me or are you coming with them?
I suppose if you're going to...
Yeah,
I'll drop them off there.
definitely pushing on the outer edge.
It'll take a while, but...
Yeah.
But
So you're just gonna crawl up from under the other side?
Yeah, and just literally lower the wing and let them just scuttle out. Totally. Now we're making a new stealth check for me.
Okay, let's do
You're
this.
still well actually out of the
You're following me or
range currently.
Oh, you're just far off in the middle.
I'm trying to. I'm not too sure, but from this view, I need to figure out the details. I do an intelligence check to figure out where exactly if I can't see where I'm going.
Okay, well you kind of flew above and now you've gone below, so roughly, if you hovered on this side of the island and you bent down and you kind of scuttled back down, if your little pocket, let's say, was here, you can kind of guess that you're very close to having either a building fall on top of you or a city street and perfect exposure. You're kind of, it's a bit more of a gamble because you're hitting it from the underside, but you've got a pretty good idea that you're in the safest spot.
On B3.
You've gone down to B3 now, yes. And no sign of the red cloaked cultist with the scythe. And the black food.
The pyramid's right on the edge.
Yeah, that is the edge.
There's a bit more grand like over here, so that's why you've got like the perspective. But in terms of width, it's not that wide.
If you drop me up first, I'm gonna be stealthy as I can by just not moving.
Oscar comes out with the group, I'm guessing now, because that's kind of really good. So you all emerge, burrowed from underneath.
Well, no, we just crawl.
Oh, you're just gonna crawl. Okay. Better than burrowing, because that makes more sense. Fair enough. You emerge with the dragon at the edge of the pyramid. On that side, you didn't really get to investigate the different angles. You saw that there was rubble and ruin. At this point, you've hit a corner of the building where there's just no immediate entrance. There's obviously these little like arrow slip holes which you're able to notice, so you're able to get an eye view inside if you want to try and climb up, but otherwise you have to walk out, around, and look into open space.
Are they actually like little small windows?
These are like, yeah, like slitted arch windows, which you're absolutely able to notice.
And Nick, cool mini.
I haven't seen it.
Fuck you gonna look through?
Like a dog. Yeah.
Stay steady.
I can't roll well, so there's like a 20 to stop.
Okay.
You want to roll 7?
Yes, we'll actually be able to solve perception.
I cast invisibility.
You can be invisible? Nice. No, impossible. 15, so 29.
Okay.
So 9.
You notice there is a desk right below where you're at the edge of the room, like a large corner desk thing with a basically a husk desiccated body on the ground, mostly just skeleton.
What do you say?
You see letters, things, actually you see dwarven sigils, basically words.
Like words.
But they are basically too far away from you to get a clear view. You can see that they're dwarvish clearly.
That's too far away, but I can see the dwarves clearly.
Okay, I have to try and sign questing, so I could probably try.
You also notice that, that's like directly below you as you look down, posing nun statues at the edges.
This person not statues. Oh yeah, that sounds gross.
There is something like a large 10, 12-foot tall staff, pink, elephant-like humanoid walking around 3 toes, dead center of the room.
Like 10-foot tall staff. Pink elephant.
That's about, the elephant's probably closer to 12 with armor.
That doesn't sound real.
It's like a bag of Jonathan, how are you talking to me?
Jonathan is the dragon.
Message.
I am talking to you.
And you can definitely see that there is one that's kind of controlling the break-in point.
Do you see any engines? Extremely strong.
2 break-in points, 1 main door.
Do you see any entrances?
Is the window big enough for me to slip in? Or to slip in? I'll see the homeless person for some reason.
I think technically,
80 pounds apparently.
The only creature that might be thin enough would be Jonathan. Like, Jonathan might actually be thin enough in normal body to slip through. Yeah, Imric, you're pretty close, but if you, with all your gear, like dagger belts and stuff.
Yeah, I have about 60 pounds of potions on me.
Yeah. Perfect directional connection. Heading, pull him around this way. Johnny is still staying in the fold.
I'm gonna enter.
I'm gonna walk next to him.
I'm over there, right?
Wow.
I'm just gonna walk down the street going, oh, it's a lovely day for some walking in this hellplane. Is anyone here? I am lost. I have delicious skin.
You walk, you're like, man, I'm hoping it's like, this is the moment. And then you look to your left, and there is a floating brain with a bird beak and tendrils, and it's like floating and like slowly edging towards you, but like almost a wave thing, like it's going back and forward.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good sir. Are you the in-flight meal?
Like that thing definitely doesn't have ears or eyes. You have no idea if it's communicating with you or being receptive to you. The tendrils aren't necessarily moving towards you, but they're like bobbing around.
So walking towards the temple.
What's the temple? Okay, you just avoid that brain thinking. You're like, it probably got here.
No.
And then by the time you do that, you realize that there's two really, really big guys that are like, that you hear this like.
You're fine, right?
As they walk. And you realize that, and as you look at them, you're like, this is horrifying. Maybe to you, maybe actually you're like a little bit in awe. These are clearly brains, formed, full bodies.
And for some reason there's a outfit.
And they have like leathers covering them, like jackets or something, like clothing. But yeah, these are clearly brain monsters that are walking towards you, making snorting sounds as their giant balled up feet hit the ground. They are close to you.
Oh, good sirs, I am lost. Can you give me directions to the nearest restroom?
You see, there is some sort of.
Oh yeah, buddy. It's over there.
Like, you've never seen this before, but you're pretty sure there is human undergarments tightly strapped to that, like where the two legs would be leg holes are now eye holes, and these black undergarments are used as a tight headband, bunching up the brain at the top and like tightly wrapped around.
These muscle brain things have lady panties around their heads.
Nailed.
Lady panties.
Wait, let's say ladies. And one of them, well, Moki would know. But the other one seems to be wearing it more like a mask over just his face with these two barely distinguishable pupils, tiny pupils. But this one here, well, it's kind of more obvious.
Oh, good genitals are on your face. That's a real shame. I'm sorry.
Hey, for sure, pal. It makes peeing kind of difficult.
We will roll initiative now.
It's strange that, like, we usually don't get visitors here. It's kind of exciting.
This will be absolutely the initiating round of combat. We will get started with Imric's turn. You are at the edge of the break-in in the wall, which you notice.
Mostly useless and expensive.
Doubt it. Do you want to
We would never fight ever.
Are you doing the first step in to the green?
Fucking ginormous abomination in this room.
He is currently, I'm going to say at this point, he's doing a patrol. Like, you saw him here, he was here, you done around, he's now here, you're looking in, you know. You're able to video game your mechanic around the line of outside.
I can't do anything, and I'm going to wait here until he leaves or does nothing else.
Okay. Well, now it is its turn, and because it heard Moki yelling, it's now finishing the patrol. And actually starts to pick up speed as it hits the door. You see it slam the door open. It doesn't bust the door open, it puts the staff towards the door, and the door slams open with force.
We should do every single combat mechanic.
Seem to be breathing.
You hear some sort of faint, like, coming from the trunk. So because you're in close enough proximity, you can get that.
It's just a negative part.
You'd like to have held you to move away when they approach you?
Yeah, well, monkey doesn't think.
He doesn't. It's just 10.
And it's going to use a dash action to
Yeah, you had a brain before and combat started. That doesn't change.
Held his turn to walk through.
So just finish this in like 5 reps.
Then I'll try.
So I don't get a flank, but I'm in top. I'm in top movement.
Yeah. Why don't you get flank?
Well, specifically because this guy gets his turn first, and then this guy does a dash action and walk around. So
Let's try and fucking like
No, improve, I can't do it. No.
Do you have no one getting it?
I don't think I do. That's why.
But then I'm just surprising.
It also gets flat-footed. You can't be flat-footed, which is good. Would be flat-footed.
okay, that is 24 hits.
Yeah, that definitely hits. I have uncanny dodge.
Okay.
So you're not flat-footed.
No.
There's a potential you die.
7,
Should be funny.
13 points of damage. This is piercing. You watch as this monster goes down to punch you, and you see it's like a balled fist. There's fabric on its massive. There's fabric on it, like it's got a glove, but you realize it's like a sock or something because it seems to unfurl, and you see brain flesh like gums creating a teeth that just bites down on you.
That would have been way funnier if he just.
Is it grappling? Okay, that's good.
Rips out a chunk of your shoulder, which you see black, like goo flesh spike out and start to reform your shoulder.
That barely hurt! So you're turning the prototype, I hope you realize.
Now it is Jonathan's turn, followed by Loki and followed by Austin.
Where is Murky? Murky is... Okay. I'm going to...
Jonathan was here, but the group went that way.
Here. Underneath still.
200 feet is easily
He's beneath you.
No, we didn't do that.
beneath the
So he's
mountain.
beneath the sideline, so he's just on the area edge. So they can hear him.
Okay, the edge gets about to here, so
Okay, so it's not that close.
well, you're still easily within 200 feet if you're still
You're
trying.
flapping your wings, and
Yeah,
maybe
you're more like cruel flying. Isn't that how it goes? Or like, yeah,
really all of them people have their hours.
Yeah, I pulled out the edge so I could just grab him from off the edge.
not the perfect edge. It's about 20 feet back. That's it. So about
I'm not coming. On purpose.
Oh, that's okay.
I don't know fly by
Sorry, Jack.
I want the pleasure.
I'll just fly to the very edge. But to prepare to catch Murky when he jumps off the cliff. The whole action to do that.
Yes, you're just on the edge.
I'm on the edge, wing out. Murky. I'm so good. You know the edge. When he got into deep shit, he jumps. You're right. When I got into deep.
You also didn't specifically see where jumping from, but you know, roughly the closest edge.
Cross the edge, he jumps off.
Runs to the So because you were here and you moved here, that's in both of their attack ranges. You have to move this way.
I fucking do that. I do that, and I correct it.
Yes, that is right. You still take one opportunity, and you can take avoid it. That's
I avoid it because I have to love it. Jump over.
I would not recommend going anywhere near the brand.
Yeah, please into their melee range.
okay, yeah. Do you have spider legs still? No.
I can technically rage as a free action.
Holy shit.
Loki,
you take 18 points of piercing damage.
I will actually rage you.
As that.
Are you raging before that happens?
It doesn't really matter.
Do you know like DR or something?
No.
What the fuck is this?
You will say CS.
it's not pretty good.
He's not a barbarian anymore.
I get spider legs. And I'm here. And I go. Roll. I respect.
Alright? Alright.
That guy does not have long range, right?
He doesn't have eyes.
Sure.
And he has tendrils.
I know what my guy does. Literally never get it. But what is that guy?
What's that alien brain?
Tentacles in a
Really
crossbow, doesn't it?
Can it become a skeleton?
Fuck you! You're doing this!
Or jumps up the building, missing parts of your body. Alright.
I think it'd be like your family bloodline is pathetic and hurting your children, but no, it's just like, you're pussies, you're gay, don't like you.
Alright. As you land on it, you feel energy just like lightly. You feel like it's trying to push you up. Kind of different from what you were experiencing in the last one.
Very, very quickly seeing anything that's like right. Looking at you, guys, you now. Okay, thanks so long. Just run.
You think you see an infernal and celestial symbol behind, checks along, you pass this all that.
This is a 31 succeed.
31 succeeds.
Okay, turns off.
You see. You see the actual obelisk from the top seems to like break apart. Bits fly, start to hit the corners of the room. Some of the standing structures collapse because of this. Like, it's almost a miniature explosion. You make a reflex save for me. DC 15. It's pretty easy to succeed. Okay. You avoid this flying shooting debris. You also notice the bottom platform is cracking as this had exploded. And you're noticing that the light from below is diminishing in size, like the outside of the beacon is slowly dimming, but it's not gone this round. It seems to be dispersing, like shrinking. But you also, for the group, remember that the last time it shrunk from the roof down, like it came from the sky and lost the light coloration that way. Right.
Yeah, just as a swift action, I will go like this. Activate dragon.
Love that, dude. Iron Fist.
What? It's no, I'm not.
He's doing dragon stuff.
So you come off, and then see, you appear, you get right up in here. And that's the whole start.
He's
Not even looking with it anyway, you just like,
Oscar basically ran into the light, disappeared because he's inside the beacon light. Now that beacon light is slowly reducing. You can see him in martial stance. See him in sexy pose. Hit the strike pose, gentlemen. And then Emmerich, it's your turn. From the right. So this is what you see.
Yeah, you got 45.
We go to
45, 50, 60.
Yeah, you can keep winding in so they can come.
That's 77. We get all the way around the desk. Cool. You see paper that looks different again from the paper that you just recovered. Incredibly thin. Most of it is broken off of the bindings that are in front of you, but there are.
Okay, so they look like they're gonna break if they put it
They look like rice paper thin, like so thin that picking them up might be complicated. You press them, they don't seem to break immediately or break off. Stupid. They're just like, you feel like if there was wind in this room, which you're pretty sure there isn't, that somehow you're breathing but there's no wind, that would blow these papers away, because they're not like stacked or anything.
Hey, what are you seeing?
Do you speak dwarf?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine, okay, we'll leave.
You gaze down for a second and you see our thriving indomitable dwarf cities are facing unprecedented onslaught.
Anything else about in here?
You see scroll binders, like scroll cases, like on the floor in the corner. You pick those up. They've got like this like sapphire. You can see where they are. You see stamps. Like this looks almost like an administration desk at the back.
Stamps. Holy shit.
Yeah. You want to take the stamp?
How much is stamp worth?
We'll figure it out. No, not like like things you would stamp a seal with.
It's a limited edition Bristol.
Oh my god, look at all these rice stamps. Oh my god.
If you hold X, you just can.
You do a wide beacon search and then just pick up every news.
Stop reading the teams before you stop. You're going insane.
I literally didn't even read that because my eyes stopped
Here you go. It's gonna come back and
It's not my time.
I read this out. better than
Yes, oh yeah, absolutely. You guys are making such a ruckus that this thing goes.
Really? He didn't. I called him a pussy.
Yeah, you got
You just smell something behind you. Use the mage.
That's only sign that his charge to God. But you call him a pussy. Don't call me out.
I'm going to smack his head.
You are just
Run!
It's on my tongue!
taking your turn right now.
You hear in an enormous voice, do any of you speak Draconic?
Yes.
You all, I think even Jonathan can take a speak Draconic because you're a dragon.
I am a dragon.
You hear, we were keeping it locked away. Boy, oh, this will suck. As kids.
What are we going with?
It's probably. Do you reckon the lady that you fought last time was an elf, and these ones were gnolls, and that's because they were just like cities that were
It's gonna be an open person. Are you blind? Fuck it There's a small chance. Because of the architecture, perhaps, and then there's
See, from its trunk as it rears back, you see a kind of like spark of some sort of like purple lightning or something emerge.
Draconic? Does he see me though?
Make a diplomacy check.
You're good at those.
No, that's one.
That one. For a second it stops. And you see this like it almost coughs like, and then this gas stuff emerges from the sound.
Yes.
I want everyone, including because it's a 30-foot cone, and it just goes that way. So that might just miss Imran.
Okay, you're working out of the city.
It misses Imran. So just Oscar.
Yeah, I'm pretty skillful.
Make a DC 21 will save for me.
We're literally out here trying to like solo me.
This is a supernatural effect.
Alright, let's go. Oh no, I only got 30 fucking something.
It's basically impossible PvP. This was, you feel like, just like before, maybe song the sigil was the course, now you're like, this gas is literally making me, you almost forgot that you just saw the beacon, because you almost turned back to them to spell it again. Like this gas around you is literally making you fatigue and learn memory.
Gross.
The thing's just standing there now with a kind of gas cloud. You see the outline of it just standing there, just waiting at the edge of the thing it's standing on. Next is the two monsters that will start the kind of building.
Oh my god, it's spell. The only beacon is keeping the god from
It's gonna escape this time.
those guys.
Why not be me? How are they climbing this building?
This is really ruined on this side, so it's like perfect handholds for them to just climb up. Literally on this side,
Hey, what is this?
they are. They're breaking the roof as they walk.
What's them?
But they're not like technically heavier than Moji. They'd be
housing.
yeah.
Dwarven housing does not break.
In a way, yeah.
Giants climbing up.
So well, they're not giants, but they are certainly they're Moki-sized monsters. Which Moki holding like you think this one roof piece will probably shatter in one round. However, they both get one attack on Moki.
Okay. Dude, it fucking works. Somebody managed to run literally like 10 feet away.
Brandon, these guys are running through the airport, right? And climb. That's what I was saying.
I mean, this area of climbing, they're like 10 feet high. So
Okay. Now let's run away.
ooh, net 19. I wish I had a crit modifier. That's 16 points of damage and 13 points of damage.
Are they punching them or are they?
They smash him, but then from the fist emerges a brain mouth with teeth, and it rips the chunk out as they punch it.
You know, I saw some SNL ones.
Right.
And I was like tripping out, and I just saw like brain monsters just like attacking me and beat the shit out of me, and I realized it was my dad. Drugs are crazy.
I think SNL skid.
75 damage?
16, yep. And it's about to be Jonathan's turn. Before Jonathan goes, you watch as these sigils thrum, and you see probably why the creature was waiting. You see something start as like a pinprick in the center. You're seeing bright white cascading light like a beacon, but there's something black in the middle of it, and then you see it enlarge. It's just above your head, 10-foot wide black orb. You see the light more finally.
Oh, this doesn't seem like a good thing.
That's great.
One eye stalk with one green eye. Another eye stalk, purple eye. You see the emerging bulbous head floating.
What's beholding? Penis. Behold.
With about 8 stalks emerging from its head. As you stand less than 5 feet away from a beholder, D&D monster.
You destroy it, and we can leave.
Behold.
Now, also, so you know, these prison bars actually kind of like go up. They go up, so
I got that hopes on it.
oh, absolutely. I didn't discount that. Just so you know that's like, I'm going to leave the other 2 down, but that's the bar situation. So it's floating like right above the bars. You are inside the bar cave area. Right.
Now, why did I ever get rid of my ability to teleport? That was so dumb.
Now it is Jonathan's turn because it just arrived.
Alright. John peeks over, he's going to work his he didn't. Up on the roof of the.
These brain things just go.
He's getting pummeled by 2 giant dudes on the top of a roof. They're vegetarian. Can that roof be just a support?
The dragon could crumble.
Yeah, that makes more sense if Rick is on the 2nd floor right now, not on the roof.
He climbed on the roof.
Yeah, but they're pummeling him. He should smash through the fuck.
Yeah, let's say this. He smashes off the roof.
Push me off the roof.
Well, how about this? This is an easy reflex, because here's the thing, they're punching you with force to push you, but then they're ripping you back because they're biting chunks out of you. So, this is a bit of let's just call it a reflex save, DC 15.
Reflex save.
From just
any bonuses from having climbed speed?
No, because that's why the DC is so low. So you gotta make that check twice.
22. What's that? 6. And a 11.
So you fall. The second one. So you watch smoke. You see, I'm going to give you that. You fall 15 feet. I'm going to hit you with.
Gravity do we have?
Pick up my mouth. I'm gonna fly to the top of that building for now.
Okay, where the hole in the roof is, you're going to go.
Just once inside, I'll grab with the claws on so it gets paired.
These are like staircase steps. They go up to.
Just on the top of the roof, right?
Beautiful.
Just so everyone can run up to it.
Are we closer to here, or here?
Yeah, which side are you kind of
Here. Okay, so I can just pop anyone in if you want.
I'll check with
Keep going. You can run in if you want.
I'm only a bit hurt.
Next is Jonathan's turn. Oh, sorry, Murky's turn. So you're able to work in conjunction with each other. What do you want to do now? Okay, if Jonathan is you.
Can I see the hole?
I have an action, but that's good.
You're on the outside of the direction.
There's a hole. Where's the hole? Like
Very center hole.
I climb up.
That's where the beacon lights come in, but there's holes in there.
I move through the hole.
I can crawl up to the hole if you want.
I've got climbing legs. It's fine.
Yeah, you crawl up 30 feet. That's all it takes you to get to the.
I look at the top.
That was my strength.
Boys, glasses. A lot of dicks. You just haven't seen me. Peace out. You now have to attack me. Or me tomorrow.
One eye sword just walks up and you notice, like you're just seeing a bunch of dicks, basically flappy, floating dicks, and now you notice that the tips of these penises, these phallic long objects, are eyes.
Okay, I saw that action.
Just wait till next time, maybe. It's gonna be fun. Because you're 10 foot tall, if you went upside down, you could have one attack. Yeah. Basically, out of my sword.
I will do that.
He would basically be like this with a 10 foot.
I will move out of the room. Okay, I will stab it with I will make some power attack and heavy impact and a battle strike. Okay.
He's one of the plain ones.
What's his name? What's the
31.
Oh my goodness! Yep.
What my goodness?
Oh my god!
Okay.
What happened? Oh my god! No! This has gone very wrong.
Fine, you bitch.
Is that regular? Fine, my birthday. I can't read that. Jason Bond spines nerves comes backwards.
9 is 42. Plus 22 is 64. I have a plus 7 on all my damage rolls. No, I didn't. Because of the plus. Sorry, that's 60. What did I say? 64.
He doesn't. No one knows what this buff is yet.
You know what? Just better.
Oh, right. Yeah,
64 is a reasonable amount of damage.
64.
For barbarian? Oh yeah.
I stab it through one of its dick eyes.
That is literally a third of its health. You split 3 eyes down at an angle.
Not every one of our classes is going to the entire campaign.
This is
We realized, oh wow, all these things can one shot off, so then we realized, oh wow, they have normal mesovic.
That's okay.
And Murky dies and Imran dies.
Come back out the hole and I hide on the roof.
Everyone can say me.
You are literally Nemo in front of Bruce right now in the original OG.
We need the original.
Shut up.
I will backflip, and I'm going to run over to Imrich.
Yeah. So you're going to attack him.
I'm going to.
It's right up to the pit.
I'm going to pick up, and I'm going to run as far as I can out that way. Sure, that's cover my movement. And with a swift action, I will also.
What's your move speed? 60? Sorry, 40, 80, 120.
120. Okay, so I would say that was maybe 25 feet. It's 60 feet from where you are to here. I'm not going to blame you for carrying Imric because it's kind of lightweight, and that one I don't think that's going to impede you.
Yeah, wait a minute.
You have another 35 feet.
I'm got another 35.
Yeah, so let's run out.
The dragon's right there.
And the dragon is on the roof, so you can see the tail like curling down above you.
I will place Imric down, and then with the rest of my movement, try to go up to the dragon.
That's awesome. You said you're going back in.
He's going on to the dragon.
Running onto the dragon.
Onto the dragon's tail.
Let's grab the tail.
The dragon's here.
Absolutely, Matt.
I just need one more turn, and then I can leave.
No, I think it was coming.
Yeah, it's
I'm going to add.
I'm pretty much up right above it.
Yeah, he's
I can't see him and he can't see me because I'm full health from the
Then
roof.
I can try and use first auto thing. Pointless. Good point. You are out of my line of that. The malevolent is the only thing that's in range. Until the round is Imric. You're safe. What do you want to do? You climb the tail?
on the dragon.
You're going to climb the tail. Okay.
I'll fly up to the.
That is your turn? Yeah, roll me 3d10, please.
3d10, okay.
4d10, sorry.
4010. Where are we? Okay, that's 2d10. I'm going to borrow your d10s.
Okay.
That is a 4, a 7, a 7, and a 3.
The only damage on those rays is a negative energy damage.
That's it.
2 hold monsters and 1 fear.
So it just does pumps, slap, 3 fun, and then
So 23 DC save on all of these. I roll a nat 20 and a 10. So this little guy freezes, this guy's fine. Fear, it also succeeds, so maybe one of them is fine for fear. And then innovation, you as a dragon are noticing the roof up below you where the dragon is standing on that was already cracked because it had put its body weight onto it. You're noticing that the dragon's one claw just goes through it. Exactly. You just that claw just slowly lift out of the tilted roof.
So one of the holes being to go towards me, or at least where I asked for.
It went for the roof, and it didn't go for the roof specifically when you went for the roof of the dragon.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But it was attacking objects, so it didn't,
It's demoralized.
It saw you go up here, but it doesn't necessarily know which side of that
matters.
Yeah, put it up.
You gotta roll. Doesn't have to roll.
This whole thing hasn't moved. What was this thing doing?
It has no eyes and no ears. It doesn't. It is literally going up and investigating the former attack spots of where its big brain.
Efficient it is to make a creature that is just a brain and it requires its like little tendrils to go on a helicopter mission so it can fucking move.
It's like they're feelings, so yeah.
It is a waste of one.
This was literally a scare threat more than a death threat. That is a CRP creature.
Great, I think we could 1v1 with that round.
Maybe. I mean, it has telekinetic force, but the tendrils. John, you're up.
No, sir.
You're slightly levitating. The dread.
Since we killed the initiative, can Loki use his action to grab onto me?
Loki would have to walk all the way over to you, but
I'm gonna fly over and then just
yeah, that works.
I just put my hand up. Alright,
Sick. And then that is the end of this combat encounter.
we did our objective. We don't need to do anything else.
Alright, what did you find?
I know it.
The dragon's body just like ascending up. There's this strange like crackling noise behind you, below you. You see bits of the roof pyramid collapse.
I think the brain elephants are dwarves.
That's the too tall.
I'm not even going to add on to that.
I see. You want me to read it out loud?
No.
It's holding paper that is so thin, it's like.
Wait, there's air?
There's no wind. That's why it's weird. It's like flapping around. It's so thin. It's just like it's this kind of anti-gravity kind of space.
Did you get any idea what that altar pillar did?
No, I didn't realize it was broken.
Oh, nice. Hopefully we destroy something.
And you can see there's still one more pillar. There's still one last glowing light in the sky. There's nothing except the faint red aurora, like northern lights, and just red.
Just based on how the dwarf creatures reacted, my assumption is that it was some type of prison for the beholder's creature. They were keeping it contained.
You saw celestial and infernal ruins like side by side, which can often mean both a barrier and a prison. So, yeah.
I see. Behold that. I don't think I've heard of it. Have I heard of the Behold before? Make a history mark.
They're from the fourth continent.
You would actually know.
That is plus 6. Alright, that's a 14.
No, you have heard of you've heard of horrifying monsters with multiple eyes. That's kind of about it in terms of what you can recall, but not specific to eye tendril monsters, just multiple eyes coming out of the monster. So you've heard something like that.
Yes, the Cyclops. I remember it well.
Multiple eyes, the Cyclops. In both of its hands, it has eyes. No, you.
Those stories, the multiple-eyed cyclops, some terror.
You heard of, as Oscar, this is more religious, you don't even have to do a check. You heard of one of the Sephira being a much bigger version of this beholder that you've now come to space with. It is a recluse, it exists on the fourth continent, and you know that at one point in its life it did try to breed, and the gods had to imprison its creations because it was the only Sephira that decided to try to create children, like an abomination would.
Yeah, one of the Sephiras is one of those. That's probably what his kid, to be honest.
I see.
Wait, the kid?
No. So, the Sephiras, blah, 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 one of them is like a big version of that, and then it's just three. And then goes like, there's the one that has trapped its offspring. So that was probably a child, yes.
I feel conflicted. Maybe I shouldn't have partially blinded that child.
Well, as long as you don't
Everything is the child of some.
I'm not conflicted anymore. I'm not worse than you, so I'm fine.
I killed bad children.
Yes, but you killed the children. I really partially black.
You ruined its life forever. I put it out of its misery.
Yes, but mine was clearly emotional.
Mine were monsters too.
They were terrible people. Your soul's corrupted.
Real superficial. You don't care about what's on the outside. I care about what's on the inside. The soul, and that's what marks for death. Potentially.
Alright, so can you please point that frustration, so what's the next step?
I'm adding this to the list of mental issues. Yes, please.
What do the papers say?
It's a bunch of dwarves complaining that they're getting killed by great control. Anyone know what Lord Star is? Lord
Try. Lord Star.
Lord Star. Lord Star. Flying cities at some point? Do you have any history of that?
I don't think it's history. I don't like dwarves. Marty, you didn't feel like the
Let's talk.
I mean, Ebert immediately said floating cities. Right now, we didn't even investigate the sky. We didn't think we could do that.
It was an underground city.
Actually,
It's slightly better, but not better.
John, what do you
It
get?
is 100% better than your first roll.
Come on, it is.
History in there.
That's 15.
Did you just do
20 for history, but it would be 22.
20? What are you done? 15 at bare bones, because you were actually around during this time, does give you the idea that you remember one far to the north, but the western lands were still marred by dark gods, so the dwarves decided to leave the ground and invent floating cities. This is kind of Boss's understanding too. But basically all of them collapsed due to one area of arrogance or mishandling of such a construct, and most of them landed back in the locations where they fled from. So these are basically the dungeons and giant buried castles of the areas that people would tend to explore in this type of in this world, in this kind of state where loot and great rewards could be gained if you investigate the ruins of Jormungandr or one of the other fallen northern cities. Remember, Jormungandr, which is so in the game. But that, a lot of these cities, like Rogoth, descended. Oscar, you remember some of the iconography and the tapestries that you saw, even from the tabernacle where the Sphinx came from. They were floating structures. You remember in history, a lot of the dwarves first came to Isora are basically descending on cities held aloft. They're not cities by any human construct, they are castles, small, tight fortresses, and they would lower themselves down during the start of the greatest times of war, the first time the Dawning Reform, and the gods had to first pull back the human ingenuity so that they didn't ascend too fast. In those periods, the dwarves were known to lower their lone stars to offer support stars.
I'm so glad I wasn't born as a dwarf.
And now that you know, and from your history, most of the dwarves are just gone. Like, they were the most useful race, more than halfway, they've been wiped.
I'm sorry about that.
Okay, anyway, this is a version. The dwarves were strong once, and then the world exploded, and then they're not strong anymore.
So, this realm is a stolen collection of empires that have fallen and lost.
This is from before the divine cladding.
Thank God, a less child of a Sephora.
Or this is like secretly just a
Apparently the dwarves were betrayed by the great orcs, and the orcs teamed up.
We know this is a
Which
realm.
you know is still happening. The Great Wolves and the Orcs are still teaming up in Brandt.
And Jormungandr has a demon in it, or had a demon in it.
We should kill our followers.
We
behaving aside.
Like that.
Just the normal dwarves. Let's fucking most kind of like the last ones.
They always think they know everything.
You know, I sort of agree.
They're like owls.
Can we focus on the northern ones first?
At least owls are useful. Dwarves are just there.
Arrogant crafters.
Alright, so we're almost up to the next beacon.
And it is as you have hit that.
Do you think we're like slowly releasing something bad by turning off all of the bright white, like holy barriers?
Probably.
Holy.
Yes, we haven't had any evidence that we're not doing
You
something.
can't detect holy energy either of it.
How does that work?
Maybe look. Maybe read what's on them next time.
I have no ability to do that.
So you could detect like evil spirits.
We were sent in here by like a fire person who wanted to fight a demon lord. He's obviously a good guy. And if he tells us to do this, it obviously means we're...
They blew up the city. I mean, it was a bad city.
It was a human city, who cares?
Who hasn't brought up?
The city you know is built for slavery. Far to the north.
It's terrible.
It's so constant in this
It
world.
was mean to Oscar though, so.
Well, true, but he did cure my head. Well, partly.
He gave you head?
That's not what he said, of course. We believe this place.
As Oscar says,
Falling apart.
to give you head, you guys look on the back of the dragon, and that final pillar slowly starts to descend in the sky. The light slowly vanishing.
No, it's turned off.
Descending. Like, not in a pattern abruptly, basically. You didn't do anything. You're flying. You're about 1,000 feet away from it. You've been moving for about a minute.
That's what it is.
I don't know, but we'll find out. However, I'm going to try to be stealthy for this.
Okay, and as the light of the beacon kind of disappears or fades over only 30 seconds, and you slow down, you are almost fully submerged back into the darkness of this space as that last beacon of light kind of vanishes. You make me a stealth check. But you notice as that last beacon hits and vanishes and it becomes dark, you see there's a moment where it's almost like you're in all blink and the sky goes from being black to pure white. Like you blink and suddenly the sky blinds you. And then you blink and it's back to black. The moment that beacon descends and disappears from top to bottom, suddenly flash of light, back to black.
Maybe there's one more pillar, so let's see.
The sky just turned from being on fire to white and to being on fire.
That's black.
Sorry, I see fire. Sorry,
That's fair enough.
Morgan's vision is just that constant burning. It's fire burning.
So you don't see your loved ones being tortured or killed?
I already lived through that.
Okay, it's not just me.
It's just you.
Did we find any magical items here?
Yes.
Specific question.
Things
I got it off.
they reflect spheres.
For Emmerich, there
And it lets me see if people are looking at me, if I already know they're looking at me.
That seems kind of not.
I can test if someone's looking at me. See? Oh, people are looking at me right now.
Emmerich, you saw an innate shield on the wall behind you with the nuns in that room, but you didn't touch it. Like, it was
Man, you
innate.
grabbed that really cool shield on the wall with the nuns.
But you definitely saw a crimson red ring that was on the table with all the papers.
Did you grab it? I grab that.
Oh, easily grab it, yeah, sure.
You grabbed it.
Okay, it's a ring.
You ate it? There you go, see.
You just put it on straight up, okay? Put it chat.
What you realize is probably polished bloodstone, like it is clearly a dwarven ring, pure stone. It's actually, it's a thick ring too, because it's like clearly, you know.
You asked me for
As Oscar has an inkling to throw it, that inkling is bolstered by the
Put it on there.
horrifying kind of
You get 3 voices.
This is in Abyssal. I mean, you actually realize it's like Abyssal and Infernal that kind of...
I'm ranking all the legendary, and then I get 2 legendary items.
Perfect would speak to you.
It's a legendary angel, you're fucking lost its brain.
Is this Tyler one of those names?
Fucking ranger.
You're right. This is Abyssal, it's in an Italian accent, right?
What's your name?
Greg.
It's your Italian. I have another voice in my head. Oh my god.
This is
Italian.
Put a random wrist in fire.
I'm not being used by that. Go around. I'm not even gonna drive.
I am bold
Dragon. Go and say what?
from Abaddon.
Beast of Golden.
I was linked to this ring. The pact with the woman called.
What is the ring?
Does the ring talk to you? Does the ring give you a possibility by albatross? That's all I need to know. Shut up.
Judge, I'm listening to 3 people right now.
You hear the sword that is territorial go, this, oh my god. This is a really bad thing you've got on your finger. And you hear Kakas go in the old back, so you are hearing 3 voices.
That's twice as many voices in Bible.
There's a ring spinning for the drop of blood on it.
No, I could do that if you want.
Is the ring evil?
You know what? We can trade rings. If you want? No, I can.
Just do the spell you did. Figure out what magic items do.
Oh yeah, let me just let's take it. Lawful evil, moderate conjuration, cast level.
He's stunned.
Oh, it's conjuration. You realize that the drop of blood would probably summon the bone devil, which is inside the ring. So is there anything else? As a free action, you can communicate with it for an hour.
That's horrifically strong.
Okay, good.
So you're gonna keep wearing it?
What does it do?
As soon as I've brought a divine devil inside of it summons.
Boom.
Does it burn devil? Does it listen to you? Because those things are horrifically strong.
I can talk to it.
You know, actually,
Summon it.
Is it the way of where it is and how it is? Is he outside the ring or?
No, you don't control it.
Okay, that's just out of character.
And it doesn't respond to John.
What you have is a prison for a devil.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of long.
you know, I have an inkling in my mind that that could be useful to me later on.
It's like as a
Just an inkling.
moment the demon by putting it up your.
Why my stomach is just craving more?
This is like craving. Do something with it.
You didn't finish. You can have a strong iron and sulfur smell kind of wafting, but only if you put your face within like
What happened? What is it?
I hit my nose on your head.
Don't listen to John. Don't listen to your ass.
Loki is snorting bloodstone.
I also want to say, should we go back and you have the shield? You gotta be really funny if there was something else in that. I'm kind of just down to collect them all.
I do not want to fight the beholder and the.
It's the whole
It's been about 2 minutes, so who knows?
It's like 20 rounds.
Look, we can go back up and finish on this.
So you're about to land on the island.
Do you know what that shield did? What?
Aspiring soldier trapped inside the
There is someone in the shield.
There's an archmage in the shield. We should go back.
Well, no, we need to go back anyway. We want to leave the book. We want to bring this dog with us, right?
Why would we need to go back to them?
Is there any chance that that archmage can revive a dead creature?
Maybe we can use the shield as a pendant for the dog.
Don't listen to the devil. Whatever he's saying is definitely a lie.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, give me the ring. I'll eat it.
Stop trying to eat my ring.
What's the point of eating the ring?
Just Morty's like, he's just ready to suck on the finger. Just approaching it.
Don't want to put the ring up your ass. Mikey wants to eat the ring. You want to keep
I'm
it
just saying, this ring, we bonded. We're friends now.
It's a devil.
How about this? Let's get back to that conversation about you being superficial.
I think that
Yes, devil.
You hit Cereal saying, "Hey, why did you betray me for a bone devil?"
Cereal.
I want to enter the devil.
I'm saying no.
Why do you want to eat the devil?
No, I don't want to eat it.
You want to enter it.
Yes. Why? I don't want to enter it.
Do you want to get more power? Is that it?
No.
So you're going to use the devil to get more power?
I don't think I can do that.
Wait, is the ring just a binding agent for the devil, or is it something you can put anything?
When created, a ring of blood calling creates a link between a single mortal creature devoted to the Serpent King and a specific devil with no more than 12 hit dice who willingly agrees to be bound by the item. So no.
It does turn to dust. The ring, if the demon is destroyed.
Oh, if we kill this guy, the ring stops by him.
Can you compel the demon to do so?
Okay, so when we find the average enemy we find, you can throw the bone devil at it so that it gets killed by an opposite. Out of it.
Out of the way.
I can tell you, it's because I fought a bone devil
Is it not
8 hours ago.
Is it not weird that Monkey really, really wants the devil?
No, I want to eat everything.
I want to eat
Is it weird that you are not instantly destroying the ring? Yes.
I thought Sarah was supposed to be the good guy to destroy the ring. What does your sword think about the ring?
Try it off.
Through.
Try it off.
Don't someone let me.
We go back. I grab the shield.
I get the ring.
I throw the ring in the abyss.
I get
The ring is a useful item.
We should go get the shield so I can get the
You
ring.
want the ring?
Sure.
Can I have the ring?
Why do you want the ring for?
I want, like, in a few days, I want to summon it and do something to it.
You're gonna do that. Bone devils are nothing to be messed around with. They could probably beat you.
I'll probably beat it to near death and try to get some.
Probably not.
Are you gonna try and fuse and fuse with it like what your dad did?
I'm not going to do that now.
You can't do that. It doesn't have the power to come.
That's so weird.
Also, my dad told me, I don't want to do that. I'll be like, just doing like him. No.
Okay,
my powers come from within.
Can you tell us what you're gonna do?
I just have a feeling.
You're gonna rape the bone devil?
No.
You're gonna eat the bone devil?
Well, yes. Actually, yes to both questions. But not me.
No, no perception check.
You hear the bone devil and Oscar.
So he's like, please,
What is it?
Perception check. I'm just gonna look around because it's been very
Absolutely, yes. Everyone has kind of been talking to each other, so there's not been much awareness. Yes.
This book is great.
I can explain it, but my character technically doesn't know what it is.
Alright, that's 21.
Okay. You swear you saw maybe 30 seconds ago when you are now 30 seconds has passed, you're about to move onto the ledge, but you swear for a second you saw a glimpse of like a circular disc of golden light just kind of fly. Is heading not the way you came, but even further away from the first opening, like where the first island was, where you just kind of it's heading almost towards in the direction you were, but further back into the middle area. So you're like clearly golden light. Maybe you've seen the remains of Celestials floating around. Maybe it's that, but it was moving pretty fast, like a streak of golden light.
Probably.
Now you also saw when you entered the when you found Oscar before he split into that evil self, he did have golden glowing wings, golden halo. That little floating disc you saw 30 seconds ago could very well be the halo from his head.
Can we go back for the shield?
Could I grab the ring when you get the shield?
Hold on, I see
I
something.
won't put it on. I only have 2
I
rings.
see a golden halo. I'm going to go investigate it.
Roll my necklace.
Okay, that golden halo was flying off the island 30 seconds ago. So the dragon is about to land on the island, and it's curling away before you touch.
Yeah, because I don't see anything like
The beacon is gone. It has vanished into the center of the island that you just landed on, and it's black. So you can't see.
It's like darkness around the pillar.
You landed on B3, I think. Was it B?
So we
C1. Sorry.
B3 and let's C1.
There you go, C1. And you think this thing is probably going to A5, like all the way up the very end in that direction. It's going past A2 towards A3.
Why is there a line cut in here?
That's like to separate the vertical from the horizontal view.
Okay. Just don't understand how this by the way.
It's okay.
These are not all, these are the same islands, but here.
Okay. Just do height elevation. Wait. Alright.
So the guy immediately went the other direction.
It's basically continued in the direction you were roughly moving.
Okay.
But no, like heading.
So from here to here.
Here to here, and he's kind of heading like this way.
Yeah, so he went the opposite way.
You're right, perfect.
So we just got.
Are we on the same level as the previous island we were at?
No, we're a lot higher now.
You're about 2,000 feet up.
So we could like just fall down to it?
No.
You can fall down to the other one, but that's far back. Yeah.
We were here. We're here.
But in terms of width on the map, that's about 2,000 feet across as well. 2,000 feet up and across.
Would you like to lose this place for magical items? Or do you want to follow the golden hill?
You guys can do the halo. I'll make sure there's I'll make sure there is no ratings left over.
Let's not split up.
Ring. No! I'm not giving you the ring so that you can have your familiar possess it.
Okay, to be fair, I don't know what you mean by that. But I'll help you get the shield if you give me the ring. I'm not going to use it.
The more you want the ring, the less I want to give it to you.
Those are the people who can't control where they go. Just
give me something.
Anyway.
The last 2 times.
No, they've just mounted onto the island. They're on C1.
Guide the party, so I would want at least something.
Yeah, that's because you always pick up evil things.
I'm sorry, are you judging things by the way they look?
No, I'm judging things by the way their soul is.
Being very.
They have souls.
The ring is evil.
The echo is
evil.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's as Oscar says, I lied, that you suddenly hear this like
We're not getting the shield, we're going to face the building.
the island you started on. A1. Far back. You hear, and most of you have a good enough eyeline. The red aura above you dimly illuminates this space. You notice that from the center of the void, there is a cascading waterfall. Just from the sky. This, like, faint, dark liquid descends slowly, almost like a very thin curtain.
Is it like slightly glowing? Because there's no light in this plane.
The aura, you know the Northern Lights? It's like that, but if it was one red color, and it is glowing a faint luminescence. So the aura, let's call that, in the sky does faintly illuminate what is basically just to you a black stream of something that is heading down, and it's only just kind of started, and you're noticing that, along with that.
You guys want to go investigate that? And I'll read.
I think you jumped off. We've abandoned you already.
Yeah, I followed the golden.
You've started. Okay, so you're heading even further away.
I think both of you jumped off and are now arguing.
You're on C1. You're on that island that the beacon was on formerly. You're able
I'll
to
escape over. Goodbye to you.
We just both can't fly.
basically been stuck.
He landed C3.
I can do it long enough, so I can fly.
We could just fall off the building and like try and land to a different time.
If we just maintain enough horizontal momentum.
If you jump off of C1, land on C3, and then if you jump off the edge of C3,
Laid on
and go to the
A3.
very bottom, you'll land on A4, and then you can go to A4 to A2, and then A2 to A1.
I mean, you can jump from C3 to A1, and then the tiny cat's probably like 100 feet. But if you land on the A1, you can just climb underneath while holding Oscar, and then climb to the other place.
I can only climb for 9 more rounds.
Well, there we
Where the previous thing was?
A1 is where you started.
B3 was where it was.
How do I get to B3?
Well, you need to go after
You're here. The shield.
I'm sorry, was the shield of B3? It's the beholder.
Yes.
Oh, we shouldn't go yet. There's a beholder.
It's only been like 30 minutes.
They do that one a bit easy.
Yes.
So, Imric, you're flying away. Are you looking at that cascading waterfall, which is very much behind you? Okay.
I mean, I'm not flying. I'm on him.
You're on him. Yeah. Jonathan's keeping an eye out for that
Yeah, I'm running on.
yellow spot. By the way, and Jonathan, you are seeing flecks of like a bright white light, which you're pretty sure is the remnants of those celestial bodies that was just kind of like floating around aimlessly. This is a pinprick of golden light, which obviously was much closer to you where you could see the street before, but now it's just like a distant pinprick towards the island that you're heading towards.
Do you think that maybe that's other Austrians?
There's either another Oscar or a celestial is free from this pillar. Either one make no sense.
Imric watches that cascading waterfall seems to hit a interesting point of verticality, 20 feet off the ground. So, like, from your point of view, you're seeing all of the rows of destroyed buildings, and then this waterfall kind of cascades down between the street into kind of the street area, and then it forms a reverse bubble. Like, the waterfall hits some sort of surface 20 feet off the ground and starts to form a bubble that slowly starts to expand as this liquid drips.
It's probably bad.
You guys are starting to move towards the obelisk inside of the island. You hear that quaking explosion behind you, and then you hear this, like, the sound of about 5 or 6 buildings of being obliterated in the span of about 6 seconds on that first island you started on.
I'm so glad we're not there.
What if they get obliterated?
Maybe that's because the almost takes like 10-20 minutes to explode.
They can die now.
Between the whole one.
Jesus Christ, be praised.
And
What was the short? We didn't know.
Loki, you hear a voice that resonates through you, cursed you with its voice. The demon lord echoes and loud enough for you to hear. Oscar doesn't innately pick up that it's the demon lord because, I mean, it talked in your brain, you shut it out.
Yeah.
Loki had that thing force reverberate. You hear,
I was stronger. We're fun.
Sister Toys doing her dirty work. I will kill them all.
You guys are so rich.
No, Dragon. I'm riding Joker.
Actually, you're right, the Oscar. You know why? Take it out.
Yeah, exactly. You want to take it out as well. That's what we do.
He has a way out. What's up?
Imric said, but Imric, you're the only person who's looking, and you're noticing that that bubble becomes mostly transparent, and it's like a blue radiating skeleton in a fetus-like cocoon of a dragon. Like how you, like, Cordell found that, like, strange little dragon eggshell in the little tuck ball. This thing is a ball curled fetus of a
Must have a bit
sphinx.
of time before it actively kills us. Hopefully. Maybe it's gestating.
Let's grab the ship.
They're flying up somewhere else. They're flying up towards.
I can come back into this book.
I need Oscar to leave.
Okay, so I want to quickly, before we pass on, I will tell you that in your room,
I don't know this game, but it's been a while since I've taken those
you
waves.
see there is some sort of altar in the center of the room, a shattered obelisk like you destroyed, like pieces of it are lying everywhere. I'm pretty sure that is like an obsidian dark glass, the material that these obelisks have been made out of.
This lets you play ships.
You see
Just you or me as well? I can take
two like mannequin doll like wooden statues at the back, and one of them is missing what the other one has, and it's this strange like silver circle around its head. And except for that, in this room there is like an empty scroll case, shelves where it looks like more like weapon slots, all empty.
I already have a segment. Put this on.
Take the segment. Put it in your butt.
You know what? I'm here.
Hell yeah. After the class, but then.
You adorn this, and
Plus for intelligence. Plus 2 intelligence and wisdom.
oh, apologies.
Nerds plus 6.
No, you're right. Never mind. I've written this down as a ring, but I miswrote it. That's okay. It's not a ring; it's a circle. That was the intention. I wrote steel hand circle, and I forgot to.
It's the circle of blasting.
Loki, suddenly his skin becomes like perceptibly more like reflective, like a sheen on his skin.
Do I get wind?
Just for Loki, you ignore 5 points of object hardness when performing a Sunder combat maneuver or smash add-ons. I'll give you the rest of that, but basically there are some small physical enhancements that come with this.
Very good, Loki.
Fine. Loki, the guy that automatically breaks everything does anyway.
Even now it doesn't matter.
Magic guy is immediately fragile.
And as Loki touches it, it becomes fragile, yeah. But no, it was handed to Oscar, and Oscar identified it, so then Oscar can choose to adorn it. That's it in the room. Before is it on? Papers in this room look like they have been either, and you're seeing scorch marks on the floor, like things have been burnt. You're also noticing like little shards of black paper that looks very recently burned, like you can smell it. But there's also the thing that is the most, I would say, worrying is that there is a shrine where it looks like there used to be some sort of weapon held back of the room, and at the very back of the room there's a throne, and it looks almost dwarvish, like a human throne, but statues of a humanoid, less dwarvish. It's a short throne for a small person. This, it says in Celestial, protected until the Cardinal Martyr needs it again. This is like a celestial, it's almost more like a decree and a bonded, and you can even tell there's some abjuration wards that were attached to this thing, but it's obviously been dispelled and it's no longer that. But you hear checking and you just start to like almost chatter a little louder. You might be getting the bits like when you're about to touch the bottom of the it's like a nervous chitter.
I check it to move a couple of monitors.
Yeah, that's like the fact.
One of the 5 what?
They're trying to the base ones from there. So, she made sure that his lure would not affect her. She used the Cardinal's knife to gouge her eyes so she could never see today. That was imbued with magic from the gods. This was a mythic god item here.
It's kind of base, and I respect that.
Now it's no longer. I am very worried.
Yeah, I would assume if we're going to go logical, all of these obelisks being prisons for things the gods fear, or things that we're all feared.
The Cardinal Martyr was one guaranteed.
Do you remember what came out of the first one?
Out of the first pillar? Nothing came out of the first pillar.
Well, I guess you saw that cultists basically arrive not soon after, but it's hard. You don't. Yeah, no, you didn't. You were specifically like you were targeting that demonic woman.
And the cultists that arrived after we destroyed it, they didn't arrive from the pillar.
I guess that would mean that Rish Kagol is the thing that's arriving after that it was broken.
Guess it was delayed.
Yeah. Unless the woman was already in there and she found a way out.
Well, could have been down to that location.
You hear a check in your mind say,
Impossible. That's the way. We've got to die. She's an ancient pain and suffering. She changes another god of pain. My twin is keeping her alive. But if she's kept alive, against the will of her own,
She's probably going to be in that
broken, like no stars.
Interesting. Do you know what this throne means?
I believe this sounds awful, Sheba. Often more.
Overseeing your risk? Do you think?
Maybe at least one.
Okay. Chambers and paper. I'll do this.
Like something did it intentionally.
you hear the devil whispering in your mind.
Thanks. Gothrock. That's the one. I'll investigate the throne, but otherwise I don't think I'll find anything.
You feel a warmth to the sides of this throne that you realize it's actually celestial gold. Embroidered onto the throne, like the lining of the armrests.
Embroidering is like clothes.
Yeah, but it's like embroidered on the leather, like gold embroidered on the leather. But you're like that. This should not be the form of any normal dwarf in this age. It's certainly a dwarf that was probably in some way doomed by the heavens. Okay, yeah, make a routine, let's just do a perception. 25. You find some sort of the chamber itself is relatively bare, but then you notice that there is a strange hollowness to the throne that is lined with gold. You're like, oh, this is like, it probably should be dense. As a throne, it sounds very hollow. And you end up feeling where there's some sort of like footrest lift, where this creature, short stature as they were, likely wasn't even having their feet on the ground, and you realize there's a footrest, but it moves out. That's fine. And then you gauge underneath and you feel a little handle, and you pull out a small metal rectangular chest. And you open it up, and you see scattered burnt pieces of paper. A charred box. Lining the charring, you see one string just like a literal stone, like a rock, and the other is some sort of knotted shaped charm, like a knot, like a cord.
Well, this is kind of random. Detect evil.
Okay. The stone resonates with a energy created that is not evil. None of these objects are. Yes, these are no distinctly evil connections.
Do they feel kind of magical then?
Certainly.
Okay. Hey, check it.
The stone resonates with something where you're trying to like develop it, or almost trying to draw your fence back to hold it.
No, it is. Okay. How does it work? Do I just hold it on me? Around the neck. Oh, fine, I'll take off my amulet of mighty strikes. I'll put on the knot. It's like all the bling. Yeah, pretty much. Oscars was collecting magic items because they're really easy to find.
You feel it kind of does nothing.
Sick. Well, I guess it's...
But you realize it's warmer to the touch than when you first picked it up.
The knot.
Maybe you're not strong enough.
You're so right.
That's how I look at it.
And the rock.
The rock, just as you grab it, literally sucks your fingers back to like holding it tightly.
Okay.
But you can like slot it out with your other hand, like thumb it out.
Okay, I'll just hold on to it. Oh my god, that's a rock I'm holding.
It's like a dark black stone, more like a pebble than a real stone. But it's still kind of big for a pebble.
It's the Dwarf King's fidgets.
Yeah, so, and Moki is doing what? Well, he's...
So like watching him do this shit.
He only spends about 5 minutes in total.
Actually, so you can read, you know.
Sorry.
Why do we really look fucking read that?
The pill's done. We were done here, right? That was the last pill, wasn't it?
Oh, sorry, I had a whole internal monologue with myself. I always forget. I'm pretty sure the person that came out of this was like one of the original angels that went with Tubral, and the weapon she's wielding is like god level.
Is she going to attack us and kill us?
Well, she might be working for Arishville, but like not on purpose. She's probably, like, god damn, blah blah.
That fiery dude can deal with it, I think. He's like...
Well, yeah, except that she's probably in here.
No. Well, that was all the pillows and we're done, huh?
It's about this moment where you notice through the stone wall and kind of like the stone room which you're inside of. There's a door, there's no windows except to the back. But you notice from the front of the building where you've walked in from, which had the direction of that imploding sound, you notice there's now a kind of a glowing light, like a bright light.
I don't know why the room left to us. It's really strange.
I think John has a way out of the book. You have a way out of the book.
John's been a bit, ever since his dog died, he's been a little bit like crazier.
I think he once told me that his dog's soul was his lover's soul. His male best friend lover's soul. So
that is weirdly sexual. That is weirdly sexual, but I wouldn't put it past him. I always got the thought that he was like kind of.
He does seem gay, doesn't he?
He does.
He is Spanish.
Spanish character's gay.
Hey, Oscar agreed. Oscar's also gay.
I have nothing against him. Do you think I'm gay?
Well, I didn't say that.
You showed up pretty and you don't have a wife, so clearly gay.
Well,
okay, we don't need to get on this personal revelation of your homosexuality.
I guess that would maybe explain things.
So, should we skedaddle from the book, or should we regroup with the others? Or do you still want that shield?
How much did Santos know about sexuality?
How bad is this?
I feel like we all have like a
whole body that's not that. It's pretty simple.
Right.
I don't know if we fuck him as they die.
Have you ever had sex with a human?
Why are you asking that?
I'm just curious.
And no, I hate humans.
What an interesting place having this particular
You know what? That's not true. Let's go get that shield wizard in this and then we leave the book.
That's such a good idea. Let's do that.
What if no one listen anymore?
Can bone devils fly, do you think?
Yes, they can.
How would you know that?
I certainly can.
But I'm pretty sure you shouldn't summon it because,
When bone devils
well, you don't have an agreement with it.
Hey, Mr. Bone Devil, dude, will you listen to me if I summon you?
I will listen to you.
He said he'll listen to me.
Yes, but he will listen to you. You won't obey you. Say, will you obey me if I summon you? Say that.
Hey, Bone Devil, will you be a Bone Devil, would you lie to me? Lie to me, dude.
You don't need to deal with our feet.
Can you not tell?
Okay, just repeat after me. Bone Devil, will you obey all of my commands readily and promptly if I release you?
Bone Devil, will you obey all my commands readily and promptly if I release you?
I will obey.
Did you repeat it fully?
No, you're right, maybe he isn't a good guy.
Your original question is, will you listen to me?
Come on,
But, so, maybe we just fall off and keep doing it and we get to be free.
Yeah, let's do that.
you want me to fly to somewhere?
as you try to do it yourself.
You're silly.
And as you walk to the edge of your island, you notice now that there is like a literal ball of sunlight, like right above the center of the island that you all started on. Like it's warm, it's the sun.
That's a bad thing.
Okay, so we run as fast as we can.
Yeah, I'll get to you guys.
Keep forward.
It's only been 5 minutes for you guys.
And moving forward. And moving forward.
Okay, I will hold on to you because you're faster.
Okay.
And then, you've got one of those potions.
I do.
The drink it swinging even faster.
That's a little waste, isn't it?
We have 3.
How about this? When I fall like that,
If I fall,
How far away is the island?
I think it's 100 feet to the closest one to you.
Yeah, the one we want to go to. To be free.
Thousands of feet. At a downwards trajectory, it might be fun.
Okay, so we can fall to C2. Easy. And then we can fall at A1, and then we can use A1 to fall.
What should we do with B1, yeah?
B3.
What if we jump this way?
Wait, you're right. What if we go from one wall on one side, then we go on the other side?
That's right.
Yeah, you know what?
Super jump.
It probably does that. It's like Pac-Man.
Yeah. So let's try to jump from C1 to the back of B2.
So we like go like just this way, and we either fall on these two.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna drink that haste potion.
A good idea.
Okay.
I prepare a little runway. I need at least like.
You're 100 feet.
I need at least 700 feet lead time. Like I need to run 700 feet before I jump off.
If you eventually get enough power to be a dragon, can you just like fly us to places when you get that strong?
You asking your sword if you can be a dragon?
You hear that, like the demon try to talk, and then you hear the sword like shut, like you basically shut it out. I have always been able to float.
Wait, you oh no.
Just roll on to you as you flies there.
I think so.
Can you wait,
I was always able to float. It does.
Wait, hold on. I grab onto it. Can it still fly?
It's dragging Moki's lower half across the ground. You try to leave it up.
Yeah.
Alright, you see Moki and you are both holding onto the sword. Moki's hands are starting to bleed because there's only like one.
I don't care about that.
Wait, hold on. Let's get it out.
Adjust the weapon.
I might make this a slightly like longer hilted weapon, so that at least two of us can fit on it.
It's okay. If you want, you can just like stab me through the stomach and carry me that way.
It just becomes a large bastard sword.
Easy.
Alright, hold on. So we just okay.
Now, are you gonna go towards the outside of the, like, are you gonna try and do
We can just like go.
or are you gonna go all the way across?
We're gonna like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll basically do the same.
We're avoiding
You're not hitting the outside and trying to bounce back around.
No,
You're just gonna.
We're not gonna aim on that. We're gonna rally.
Yeah, so 20 feet around.
Just 5 minutes. We just going.
It's more like you pull and then you're all like dragged forward and then it pulls forward.
We can pull a haste potion. I'll see what it is.
You hear in the back of your mind, don't give me up for that fucking bone demon.
You know what?
The ancient dragon is jealous.
No, I got it. You got one hand. Make a reflex save.
Let go.
This is a really hard roll. This is DC 20.
This is a powerful thing. We can have a companion.
20. DC reflex 20.
Powerful companions.
Now you know according to Oscar that it will turn to the roof of exactly.
Sorcerer told me to go to it.
No,
He said, "Don't give me up for that thing."
yes, you could have given it to me. It was a powerful companion. I could have dominated it sexually. It comes with us.
Well,
Loki, you literally feel as you continue to travel, your tail hits something.
Wait, it's falling down.
You've already missed it.
Hold on, Serial, stay still. I will try.
It's still going. No, you now understand that it's kind of like Portal. It's just going up.
No, please. Come on, I really want this. I got into Billy or invade its flesh.
that's
I'll
find you a better one.
You'll find me a better ring with a better creature
No,
inside.
I'll find you a better creature to dominate sexually.
Alright. I don't see the golden net anymore.
Nina, do you think the pyramids were part of these small complexes in the material plane? I think they were here, and then the small complexes were out next to them.
Well, from the clue that you just gave, I'm starting to think that maybe these are all lodestones that were stolen.
There's a pyramid, though.
No, all the islands.
The last one was an elven list.
I don't think there's a way to
The
get
very first one.
back into the ring.
The first one was an elven place.
I mean, apart from
Yeah, it was a rectangular building, all like
It wasn't a pyramid.
Yeah, that's why I
it wasn't a pyramid.
So it is easier to just take control of it.
Maybe
I would think those spells would have
Someone can just buy you like a little.
They seem to be shattered.
Thing.
Maybe that remains a piece of stone.
You would be surprised.
I really do recall contemplating the because we don't have any concrete evidence of what's going on.
Pretty well.
So you guys heading to that island?
I don't think we can. I'm going to ask you when someone who understands you.
Feel the dragon piling.
I've made one attempt on it. I can also just throw away. It's free.
That's the deal you're making.
You step off.
I do the big one.
You realize very, like, this was some sort of like tiled stone wall, very like dungeon like, but it's like jagged, uplifted, past clearly has been, things have smashed into this ground multiple times, causing many irregularities in a stone tile sort of floor. It's a big floor, and you realize there's like structures fallen, like small shrine-like structures that could collapse. A large rectangular room at the back with that pyramid kind of edifice at the top. And then you hear behind you, because there is no noise other than that echoing explosion sound followed by you can faintly hear the two allies that you left behind arguing, literally for 10 minutes, they don't stop. And you hear echoing. How many times can you do that?
So everyone frame AI generates its work.
I mean, it's comparable to 480.
Or anything else?
It's probably something else.
It's a scream, and there's no sound in this whole space, so it kind of just slowly echoes around to you.
Okay, that's technically true.
And that's coming from that light glowing, so it's basically impossible to see
The only interruption.
the glue figure.
Yeah. No, that's the Oh, man, yeah. No.
That's so I guess we'll
I think we should just for the 59.
slowly.
They're gonna fight over there.
Somebody long. Check what's in the pyramid, I guess.
You start to
Rectangular building.
the rectangular building, and you hear the faint pinging around, like chains hitting against the stone, chains dragging from a different area.
And that's still.
Senses very quiet scuffle sounds.
So it's like, I don't know.
Almost sounds natural.
Yeah.
And as you're starting to walk forward,
Which can?
all three of you hear this as you're about 10 minutes across the orb. Bryden, and you heard
Like 10 minutes.
in total talking, and now you've started to move out. This has been about a 10-minute period as you've just started moving out. I'd say you're about 2 minutes, so you're halfway, almost halfway. You hear, how many times can you do that? And it's coming the sound from the orb of sunlight. You then hear,
As many times as it takes. Whatever the cost is, 10 more cities can burn if I can find my limits. And so far, this only proves that when my back is at the wall, the power I summon supersedes my previous limits. Resume sends his regards, you ugly griffin. Well, what would
because you two are actually in the closest proximity, Imric has the hardest time seeing it, but you can see the blackened, smoky creature seemingly emerge from the ball of light above, like 150 feet up in the air. And then you hear Marcus yell, and it's much quieter than the giant griffin, but it's still audible, especially to you two. Suddenly, then there is another sun as the one at the ground kind of shrinks. There is a orb of sunlight that, as that smoky griffin emerged from one, another one just starts to grow around
all day?
It's just a sound like a sun is in proximity to
Just let them play.
Yeah.
And over the next 3 more minutes, that's all you hear. that orb of sunlight slowly just kind of disperses, almost like it doesn't fade like with wind, it kind of just half shrinks and then grows opaque and disappears. And you're once again submerged in darkness. And there's no more roar of the Sphinx.
I know, Glean's about to collapse.
But you two notice slowly approaching you from the air a beacon of bright orange, almost yellow light. Rockets near you.
Like direct close to us, or like this way?
Kind of like ahead of you and diagonal to you.
So it's like not going towards us really, but it's going near.
You see it hits one island. It's clearly, now that it's kind of like projecting itself, hits the edge of an island, moves on to another edge of another island, and it's moving at basically what you assume the speed of that dragon that Jonathan was controlling was, pretty fast, if not really faster. And it kind of moves around you, but doesn't get close enough for you to do anything other than maybe view the elongated body of a man flying, and that color being white emanating from his body, which you've seen before. You know this is Marcus. Him being in this space for Oscar, that's real confusing and probably maybe a very massive risk for Marcus. Not that he or you argue for his safety.
He's probably figured it out. We did it with the help of him.
You both descend with the sword and slowly reach the lowest pedestal, and you see there is the concave roof of this pyramid structure that you had once heisted.
Alright, kill the elephant guy.
Let's go get those shields and then get the fuck out of here.
Agreed.
Alright!
Maybe I'll just go.
We should stay together in case.
If the thing is still alive, you'll probably be able to see through my invisibility, so just kill it.
You know what? I think I can do that.
Yeah. Alright, I will go invisible. One shot the dragon.
As you guys like approach like the sound of creeping chains and stuff we come away from you, and stuff I'm like, wow.
The dragon's dead. Yeah, easy. That's true.
Okay, so Moki is running around.
I'm just outside the front going, whoa, I missed a big fight.
You see the brain monster looks like most of it has like decayed and it's become dust. So the one at the front, you're like, oh, that's just dust mostly. Like there's little bits of brain fluff left. And as Oscar walks in, you realize that missing one arm and the like melted shoulder mantle that it already had, the elephant creature sits. It's kind of like back against the prison thing that it was, defending, obviously. Missing an arm, smoky. Its head is face down like it's asleep, and the staff, it's like only half holding its body upright, but it doesn't look to be conscious, realistically. Like as you walk in, you don't, you're basically invisible motion, doesn't trigger anything. You don't even see the giant floating head monster with tendrils.
I'll go over to where the shield was.
I'll go with the elephant.
Back of the camera. You walk in and you're facing the elephant. You see the tusk doesn't even move, but you see the sunken head of this kind of pinkish thing with metal covering the top of the head. You see it just kind of gently moves its head. Looks at you. Eyes locked onto you. Tiny, squinted elephant eyes.
Would you like me to put you out in your misery? Or help you?
I didn't practice sexually noticing that thing.
And it just slumps its head back down. Its body doesn't really relax, its head just lowers back down.
Staff knob.
Oscar just like pulled it off, and then you see that elephant thing. You stab, and then you rip out through the side, and you separate this thing's mid-intestines, and you see stuff start to unravel out.
Grab its liver for a snack.
Grab the stuff.
Oh, and the stuff.
You're basically dragging the body, the liver is still attached, and it's just like a body dragging by the internal organs.
There we go.
They're breaking off the noodles by force. There's some proud warrior.
Oh my god, this elephant man was heavily drunk. His liver was soaked.
28.
You notice on one of the T-posing nuns, there is a bronze bracelet adorned to one of the statues. It's kind of like 10 feet off the ground, or technically in total 15 feet off the ground. That's the only weird thing. It glows, it glitters. You break off the actual arm and it easily slips out.
I am a treasure goblin.
You see, it's a serpent. It's a serpent bracelet, much like the knotted charm, but they're obviously
The ring is 17, right?
bloodstone.
Yeah.
Not necessarily serpent.
Yeah, I'll run back out.
I thought it was because it said 7 a little more.
So it's just out.
I think there would be like serpent iconography carved into it, but not like the ring has a serpent.
Okay.
Yes.
I found these wrist bracers.
They're serpentine, like this ring.
Do you want to wear them?
You know what? Sure. We'll see if they're cursed by wearing them.
Yeah, it's a bracelet, and it's one bracelet, and it's bronze.
Yeah.
You kind of slot it in with your hand, and it kind of doesn't fit perfectly.
I break my wrist to put it on.
Tell me if there's someone else in your head or not.
You suddenly, as he puts it on, you see 5 small serpent charm like dangly bits from the bracelet suddenly dislodge and just hang loosely.
Sounds like a serpent that's going to bite me.
Yeah.
You want to do your thing? You want that?
Nah.
So, I think the garbage, we leave.
Do you think the stuff is magical?
Yeah, no. We can give it a jump, see. Oh, jump away with it.
There's nothing like gem embedded on it. It's like
Is it just like a metal
a
star?
large piece of metal, but then the metal itself at touch feels weird. Almost makes you sick, like in the stomach to touch it.
Take it right that one.
Okay.
That shield definitely seems magical.
You touch the shield.
Okay.
See one?
Where is it? That accent. Which one? Brazilian.
You hear,
Burrida.
you found me.
Yo, is it a fucking wolf?
Please, I have been alone for so long. My mind has been trapped inside the seal for... Wait, who are you?
What's he saying?
Keter can die.
It's really can you get this guy up to scratch?
Wow. Keter can die.
It's really can you get this guy up to scratch?
Wow.
Want me to step in?
No, just saying, you know what?
What was that? Who was that?
It's alright, there's one of them in the group. That's a few of us here.
I take the ring and touch it to his skin. Just a reach to the ring shot.
It doesn't work. It's you holding it, you hear this.
Good. No,
My name's Oscar.
That's
The solemn. I am an ASMR. I'm a reedy. I thought I saw her when I came into like somebody on the land.
I saw her. At least that name sounds familiar. We're in an age. What age are we in?
It was like 2000 something.
no, it's not.
1468 or something.
I can't remember my age.
Do you remember your name?
I am Demo. They're Demo.
Well, welcome, Demo. The other voices that you're probably hearing, one of them is an angel of death named Chekek, and then the other one is like a legendary mythical godlike dragon that was placed on a sword crafted by Aineta, the god of justice and valor. Yeah, the sword's name is Territorial. You will treat him with respect.
I was convinced by an angel came to this dark realm with him.
Outlaw.
No.
The motto.
No. It was a messenger angel.
You have to deliver a message to the boy.
Italian.
I come help you when he comes to get away from this place. Let's just talk about the change of the school.
What do you do?
Can't you tell? Look at the back of the shield.
Look at the back, there's a spell scroll like embedded in there.
Oh, there's some instructions.
And the spell scroll is
instructions.
specifically, sorry, protection. Here's protection, a magic circle against good.
Right. Do you hear anything else?
I have few magical knowledge superseded in my mind. I cannot produce any material. I am able to hold one spell attuned to the shield that can be used in effects by myself, but only one spell at a time.
I just have a thought. If we gave John the shield, he could probably take the soul out and put it in one of the undead abominations.
I can do that, but I like having them all with it.
I like having another item.
Please,
But we have cast free spells.
for time at the battle at Umbraxaxa, I was removed by the angels at the pivotal moment.
I think that battle's over. I think that battle ended.
Oh, do you want to go back to like an ancient battle?
Hey, let's go to Umbraxaxa, which I think was like the name of the heavens that have all collapsed.
That was actually the name of the what is now known as Grand Gates, aka Umbraxaxa was the name given to everyone else for the land where gods do not walk and where the dark supersedes the light.
Yeah, I can take it there.
We will go.
Are you better than normal shield?
I don't think my adaptability is in the shield itself.
Ask how much was beating you.
Normal shield.
Normal shield?
Can you talk to me about getting away from the versus just like strapped to my back?
Yes.
Okay, I feel more free.
You just have like a shield on your back. What type of shield is it? How big is the shield?
Circular shield, dwarven embezzled image on the front of it, and then it's
I have a drawn face on the front.
Yeah.
Does that move when it talks?
but it is in a kind of like a stoic dwarven like yelling motion, so it's like it's got the mouth open, and you hear
I only know the history of the land of my time. If you where are the Great Dwarves and the Orcs? Are they still joining forces against the elves and the dwarves?
Yeah, they're still sort of teaming up, but they're in a place called Brandt, which is Umbraxaxa still, I guess.
When they leave the place, why would they do that when Umbraxaxa was the name to deter things from entering?
Because they like set up towns there.
With a dark god's land.
Yeah. Look, I'm from the Sorrow. And from what I've realized, every single person who ever has lived on this continent is a failure and will always be a failure. I don't think they will ever make good choices, and one of the good choices they made was going to a place that was completely scorned by the gods. So
I summoned to the Western Lands for my sword, from the star, Lone Star specifically, because floating castles, fortresses, powers.
Oh, so you like fell down in the sky?
No, I was brought down. I assume.
You can roll.
I am very tuned with the dwarven customs.
I don't even know what you're talking.
I am a dwarf.
I guess it's
That's gone.
I don't want to play with you. I mean, you can't crit fast.
So menacing.
17.
You got that time.
Yeah, but you can't crit fast.
You maybe understand that this is probably a dwarf ashamed. Maybe.
So the dwarves don't like you. Well, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
The way with the shield, who just doesn't like it.
The dwarves did want to get rid of me, that's true.
You know what? I like you.
Oh, so I like the shield.
I like the shield.
Nice.
Plus, you can. I'm assuming someone said you were. Oh, right, sorry. The devil said you were an archmage.
I'm a very proficient one, yes.
Great.
I can read any magic you show me.
Perfect.
I can only cast one spell scroll at a time, but I don't use the scroll I hold.
Do you know
So if you have scrolls of teleportation, that's what I was normally used for.
Do you know what this staff does?
The staff is
just not on the shield.
a focus, but it is of abyssium, which is an abyssal metal.
I'm so glad we came back. The shield just like knows what things do.
What can it do?
What does the bracelet do?
They tap it on the shield.
Oh, the bracelet. 5 dangling charms, each
I love this guy.
depicting an open and staring eye. Once per day, the wearer can touch the bracelet and gaze at another creature. I believe
So it's like a scribe.
Turn people to stone. Looks snaky. I can't hear him, but I'm assuming it's turn people to stone.
You're saying that once per day you can look at someone.
Be alive.
But I can already.
specifically if you do a gaze, and let's call it a gaze attack, at an ally, it stops them from being petrified.
It's anti-petrification.
So I look at someone and they're not petrified.
Yes.
What if they're already petrified?
Done. Figure it out. What is it not?
It can make the weakness of the petrification weaker for someone that has already used it, but
It's easy to escape.
you only have 5 disposable charms on the bracelet before the bracelet becomes dust.
What does it not do?
The charm of the thrice-born.
The what? There's something else?
So the charm of the threat, you know that knot that I found in that chest?
Oh, yeah.
He was just, and give me the rock too.
The rock acts as a limited gravitational singularity.
So
Once the command word, he whispered you command word. After a 1 6-second delay, everything within a 5-foot diameter of the stone is irresistibly pulled forward.
No. DD5 with a divination.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Okay.
Well, bronze bracelet, and then obviously your shield.
Oh, this is great. The shield can fly faster than spirit.
It can. I think you picked it up from your back and you start to gently float like a backpack. Jetpack. Fly, yeah. He's got a jetpack, and Swiftwill can push him even faster.
Guys, we should get this magical books more often. This is great. Oh, do you still use your claws?
Yes.
Do you want to wear this?
What is it?
It's a necklace.
Okay.
It's blessed by the 9. It makes you punch harder, but it also will affect all of your natural weapons.
Would they bless me?
There comes this one.
Would the 9 bless me? I have the blessing of that.
Doesn't matter.
I am now better than every human.
Hell yeah.
In what way?
These gloves really good.
Okay.
Swiftwill is like, he's really dumb, isn't he?
Yes, unfortunately.
He's the dumb one.
God, this is great.
As you start to, Jonathan and Imric, investigate, you find the remains of the cultists that you fought, similar, but like dead in pieces on the ground. But like everything here, you realize they're not dead. Their eyes are looking up at you, they're dilated, they're looking back and forth, their mouth twitches even though it's been heavily lacerated. these creatures are torn to pieces but are unable to literally close their eyes. Also because their eyes have been ripped backwards, it's just the skin and metal prongs holding their eyes wide open.
And they got chopped up with a sword and the punch out.
They look like they're ripped apart. But you can see some of them look like serrated parts, and some of them look perfectly
Cornell's here.
in a similar cutting fashion. You might say Oscar does, maybe. It's not dissimilar, but the soaring part of it, that's not normal. Like you can see where some parts have been heavily lacerated.
Can we pull out to another Oscar?
But in this room, you don't actually find any. You don't find any memorabilia, anything left. Everything in here seems to have been
fine.
Do you realize that it's not actually other Oscar that's in here, but instead it's like one of the first angels that walked into Debrol and then turned against him and then got controlled by an evil god?
No, I don't think they know that.
I think these are blessed with constant life like I am.
This is a blessing in your eyes.
It is also considered the most evil person man is a lot more like
Actually, that you're close to battles, man.
they can burn like eyes.
And Jordan, you also notice that around this whole area of desecration and death, you notice there are these weird petals growing out of the ground, not full flowers, just like single petals, like leaves growing. And
This is so many.
you have seen these before, drawn from these before. These were petals that grew very, very close to the gateways that your cult would make to connect to the plane of shadows where your god is formerly held, and where the temple was. These flowers generally only grow around the portal to the realm of shadow, which, according to you and Mitso and everyone else, that plane no longer exists, including the ancients.
Only some dead blossom.
But these are some death blossoms that only grow around the doorway to the shadow.
Interesting.
You can't see a gateway or anything like that.
This place is very connected to the Prologue, the way I said how we can escape.
I never going to A1.
They portal with A5. But A1 is that center point where
A5 is just off from us, basically.
yeah, but
Most times.
Can you use this place to make a bolt?
you actually move faster. You move about double the speed you were before because of the shield on this one.
Nice.
And luckily now, Loki needing to basically hold the sword. You are, this is half the time, so 2.5 minutes of flying across.
Don't remember.
And are you taking the Abyssium staff?
Yeah. I'll let go of the poison. Tie it to my back.
You have expert poison on you.
Yeah, I cast this like I don't just know what things do automatically. I have to actually test them.
Okay, and as you move with it in the dark, Oscar's the one who notices this is on Moki. It's radiating a dull green, like luminescence. And careless exposure leads to a lot of things which you're doing right now.
Chaos control.
Standard grade, if you're carrying it on you, each round you are considered sickened. So as you actually carry it, walk it out for a second, you're like, this is fine, and then you actually start to feel nauseous.
Oh god, my stomach's
But you are now floating, you can't get rid of it because your body is heavy.
Do you think that's bizarre?
What, they're doing something?
You see the shield says, there's likely long-term effects to the staff's connection to the body, like abyssal radiation.
Yeah, the shield is saying that the stuff is like radiation.
I was gonna give it to my son, but it's gonna do that.
It's all green. It's like, alright, I'm mentally amazed. I was gonna say, if the rig was still floating, it would collide back.
Stop, falls down.
It happens so fast, I'm like falling bodies. And you,
Where are they? Do I get a name question?
it will be floating forever. You're not wrong. You hear the shield start to talk to you about how Abyssium powder, which is the refined, ground up version of that staff, was used to both fight the devils and fought for the devils against the people, the dwarves and humans who infiltrated. And also, your shield starts to tell you about the dwarven strongholds, the Lone Stars.
On and on.
Like how that, specifically the ones that never, like the Lone Stars that never left the ground, which apparently were very few, were holding doorways to other realms and were basically using the fortress as a border and well defending these nations.
He knows a lot. It's kind of hurting.
Oh wow, it's really doing this?
It's really close to getting going like owl.
You know what? Maybe you'll,
I know there's already owl.
I know what to do. I don't want to drink this, man.
That's fair. I'll just take one for the team and give it back.
No, it's okay. I understand. You're finding the knowledge overwhelming. I will be finding
It's so much more information than I ever had.
I think we did it. I think they've been split now.
Well, it should be done for this scholar, and I will inform them of all of the effects of however long we've been parted from this whole thing.
Just worried, but I actually I might be one of the best in it. We are not very well suited for scholarly matters.
I am sorry for you.
My brain.
And slowly, as no one's talking in your brain, you're investigating the room, and you've fully investigated this chamber now.
This is a room.
You weirdly find a similar item that you found before, like a protection charm from like a copper disc with blood root, like decor colors going through the disc. But this is something else. 32. This is a religious charm. In this place, it probably makes you slightly more resistant to everything that you're doing.
We went back a witch. Found out Serithra can just fly. And so can the shield.
Well, we found evidence of something of celestial origin going through here, so we've been looking around.
A little bit of an update. I feel like you should really take this. It's covered in Plating Stone.
Plating Stone? What does it do?
It implodes, but it doesn't do any damage to like organic matter. And it sucks in all the surrounding like structural elements. So you can use it to like destroy a tunnel.
The one you let them?
Yeah. Sure. The shield has a magic circle built into it that it can just hold. So if we find any sort of circles of teleportation, we can just hold on to them, and then the shield casts them. Otherwise, yes. Otherwise, the Archmage inside is just really smart and knows a lot of things.
Breathing in the shield?
No.
Does he want to be free? Would you like me to try and make this song into something else?
I'm gonna keep it in the shield.
Are you going to talk to the Archmage for
Emmerich, do you have anything on your
Please take any of your souls out of your head.
No. I like them.
braces?
And you can have this snake.
Do you want to kidnap a god?
Currently, yes. Why, how have you been acting?
Jeez. You've changed ever since your dog died. Is that everything that we got?
Yes.
I see.
I've just told Aiden no for this game, because ultimately it was only like an hour and a half. I'm just going straight, may as well do it until the lights burn out. Because we're kind of like...
That'll be fine.
It's only if mine fails.
One more thing. There is one of the original angels that walked with Dubrol, called the Custodial Martyr. She was an angel who sort of was told by the gods not to trust Dubral, so she cut her eyes out so she would never see him. But still looked beside him. She is in here, and she's taken a god-level weapon. We think that she's probably working with a rescue girl. Probably not by her choice, but, god pain and all that. So, I'm assuming that's the Halo you saw? No, definitely not.
Did the thing me and Murphy kill have eyes? The door has my gun.
Have eyes?
It was only released when the last obelisk was released. It was confirmed, or are you assuming because it was recently done? Everything in the room is recently done. And the obelisks are prisons.
I wondered if it was Marcus who was in there.
Sure, we could guess that. The guy who's clearly not in the obelisk.
The guy is clearly right down there.
Let's go ask Marcus if we can live.
You are watching. Some of you are talking, but one of you has an eye on Marcus as a little streak of red-orange light is drifting around, and now he is drifting closer and closer to you, the group.
Alright,
he's just approaching, but he's still pretty distant.
Check the whole area up here.
You definitely did. It took about roughly 5 minutes in total to get to you after they've done their thing. I would actually say, basically, you did an 8-ish minute of proper investigation of this place. There is remnants of an altar, but there's no beacon. Inside this pyramid, there doesn't seem to be any strong divine magic other than the one saint's charm that you found on the floor among the literally butchered cultists. Which you assume these are probably cultists of the god Pain. This is the real character you're talking about. Self-mutilated.
Do they have the symbol of that?
There are probably a few symbols. You're recognizing that his mark by choice is probably different from what saint would use for protection. You think that the mark of this ball is literally scarred across their bodies, multiple different ways and multiple different angles.
Okay. What does this mark look like?
It looks like some sort of bleeding face. But only half of the face.
What's stopping us from just teleporting out of there?
We can leave.
We came for a reason. If the demon was not dead, why would we leave?
No, we came to destroy the obelisk.
We came inside to figure out how to kill the demon lord. We decided to destroy the obelisk because it was the only thing we seemed to be able to do at the time.
Well, seems like Marcus is in here now.
Yeah, it was probably the obelisk was probably the thing keeping him out.
And now that he's in, he can destroy the demon lord.
Oh, yeah.
And it's we can stay.
Crocodile, whatever his name is. A if he's burning up still, or is he still living?
They can hear you.
I don't think he is hearing me. I don't know unless he speaks with his mouth.
Hey, JK. Are you still burning up right now?
Burning, please. Is it Jacob? Glitching. Yes. Jacob is still glitching.
He's still burning up. I don't know what that means. So, Matthew, why aren't you affected by it?
It seems to be all like just stops. You can tell that causes the thing.
I think it's because my primal energy is not divine, simply gifted by divine power, which is why I'm weaker. It is not why my mind is not. If someone's displaying deep play a trick on you enemy by possessing you when you first entered.
That is true.
And then you see that beacon of firelight arrive at the edge of the island which you guys are all kind of in the middle of. Now, they're on the island where the door is. As you can't see it. And you've done a full circle and double-checked this one. So Marcus can be aware of Andrew concept. So don't worry. There's no text on anything, you just that.
John, what is that song you're humming? That sounds pleasant.
And that's true.
What does it mean?
Like, there's a small chance that it could respawn here, it could respawn in this master's land.
Marcus thinks this could still be in the domain.
This means the
Okay.
it's stuck in here. He hasn't seen it respawn in this place yet. So that's the question. And also then, if it's respawning in the material, you'd have to match the material check, so he's a bit of a thing.
But that is looking for encouraging
Marcus lands, starts to walk towards it.
Fly. Oh, that is looking for. Jesus Christ. What? It's probably dead. Guys? Well, I can't be sure. We should leave out the book then. I feel like there's more to it than that. Most likely. Are you gonna stay in the book to make sure, or are you gonna, like, take the book and stay here for a while, I think. Do you want us to leave? Or do you want us to, you're free to do whatever you wish? Well, we accepted Brandt, and that was the whole reason we came in the first place. And you held up your half of the bargain. Guess.
Do you have half the bargain, or to do just like...
Yes, I did all the work.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I saved all your lives. And I killed the demon. You're welcome. Okay.
What's that whole bit about you yelling about no matter how many cities I have to burn?
Yeah, that's more. It's just battle talk.
Because you didn't need it.
So how come you're coincide now? Is that because the risk's been done? No, what is?
But for Marcus, it's like Marcus just isn't aware that there was a problem entering the book. Like,
Why did he come in now?
because you straight up destroyed the demon lord by melting it into the city, and then it didn't respawn after about 10 minutes. Slowly the respawn, because you let it hurt you, would get quicker. You let it hurt you, it would respawn. And then you knew where the book was set up, so you dove into that bitch. And then you came here and you saw it respawning. So you knew that this was now the place where it was respawning, and you're waiting for it to respawn right now, but you've flown around for about 5 minutes and it doesn't respawn in the time frame, so...
It did not rematerialize in the material plane. Is the...
Meaning it can't get there by itself, basically, it's stuck.
For a bit we saw there were all risks inside that were written in Celestial and Infernal, and they were shooting some energy up into the sky. For a bit we saw there were all risks inside that were written in Celestial and Infernal, and they were shooting some energy up into the sky. After we destroyed all of them, the sky went purely white for a second, but then back to black.
I think I'm starting to understand what happened.
It wasn't like angelic beings down inside
The
us.
story has been pieced together now.
Please tell me I don't understand.
You see those 3 beacons, words beacons to the material blade that are shown for the book. Since we have broke every single beacon, we're just hoping powerful creatures to power them. The creature cannot figure out how to teleport back to the material plane, much like how gods can't easily access it. There is no more easy stronghold for it to enter.
Okay, well, we've still not really seen anything to do with the book. Like, there's supposed to be another book inside the book.
Yes.
I know I grabbed a part of that book, but there should be more of that book too.
And I don't think the book was destroyed.
I don't really think what we found was enough to constitute a second half of it.
But from Marcus' knowledge, you magically observed the book. You saw the radiation of that evil presence as the 20th level caster book. You scanned this domain. There's no 20th level signature.
We have feel like there's got to be more in this book. There's a book of evil power in here.
I think the Celestial must have learned everything.
I don't think the Celestial was strong enough.
Well, we can't sense anything here.
It might be the one that can figure it out. You could see what you were saying, right? But it definitely wouldn't be so.
It could have been covered by lead. Or they took it. Are we high on left?
Yeah.
The highest.
I'm going to see invisibility and just look around.
Invisible island.
It's the same, so void.
What's the risk? Island?
You're excited about it.
Yeah, it's within sight of it.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
Maybe. Within range of vision.
Beautiful. Literally nothing. No. But at the furthest back point of the island which you arrived at, basically where you stepped from, there's a 9-foot tall doorway. Small little bricks.
Should have seen that. There's a doorway. Where we came from.
You look down where you came from, and it's just a flat landscape, broken bits of the tile floor.
Do you think this is an exit?
What is on the doorway?
It's like weird, like jagged bits of like almost horns sticking out of the door frame, but not in the doorway, just like as a part of the structure.
It's jagged, but it's also like maybe horns. It's really far away.
And it doesn't fit the
Do you feel like you shouldn't see it? Do you feel like your mind is wandering?
No,
Maybe it
definitely
shouldn't be there in the first place?
It's just invisible.
Is it telling you that maybe the door isn't there, but it actually is? Is that our minds cannot understand it because we do not have the god possessing us?
It goes outside. I don't know.
You should go for the
To
door.
me, it just looks like a door. Maybe that's because the Jacob is shielding me. I don't know. It's a red door.
You see Territorial emerge from Oscar's holding and just seems to shoot very quickly in its direction.
Territorial zombie thumb.
You see what the sword looks to do. I mean, it's so tiny at this point, it's a blip as far as the island.
Oh my god, it went so fast.
And then you see slowly it comes back, not nearly at the speed it seems to fly at the structure door. And you are hearing as it approaches closer in your own mind. It's the gate to his realm.
Okay.
This is the God of Pain's doorway into his own realm.
Fly if I go. You can go in there and like.
Yeah. My sword is telling me that the doorway is the actual entrance into Dubrell's realm.
Well, we've done our part of the bargain.
Yeah, we should go in
Go
there.
there and enjoy yourself. As jump on the dragonfly will very fly and pick up the stuff and forward. He has 200 feet, so it's literally just.
All good.
Be careful, it does make you sick.
It does make you sick in as long as you're holding it. You are, yeah.
Tiny little rod. He's a little cool.
So we're actually going to enter Dubrell's realm.
No, we're not.
Or just Marcus.
I think just the big guy.
John recommended.
I would recommend not going to the God's realm.
Okay, we're all in agreement.
You know what we should do? We should exit this route.
Absolutely, we should destroy it.
Destroy this route?
No, destroy this door.
I don't know about that one.
I'll just go. I'm going to destroy it.
Why would you destroy it? Humans love crusading, right? Well done, like crusader.
First,
Humans don't like crusading.
if there is only one entrance into Dubrell's realm, and that's through here, then we are allowing the God of Pain to just exist without any sort of interference ever.
If we destroy it,
Well, it goes into this evil book. Why don't we just have, like, the big guy eat the evil book? Or, like, feed it to a dragon.
what? How did Marcus get in?
Oh, he does the book, right? Okay.
Oh, Marcus, can you destroy this supposed doorway that we cannot see?
Marcus, that might stop it temporarily. Like there are definitely temporary measures to block it. However, with Marcus, you know that the only way to prove that the demon lord is dead is to go in that doorway.
Sorry, he's gonna do it. Yeah, that's.
And also, the only way to really test the limits of your strength is to go into a place that challenges you beyond what the material plane has offered, which is alluring for Marcus. Definitely not making the choice for you. It is an alluring choice. I don't think it's even in Marcus's best interest to dispel the door, but I absolutely allow dimension lock. There are temporarily long, because this being in this place is a lot longer than it is outside.
I think we should at least keep the door here.
Well, if we can restrain it and stop the entryway.
Why would we need to do that? Now that it just enters this round, which you can't exit this round because the others can't here anymore, then they're just stuck in this round.
Yes, but it'll be hard to enter this round as well.
Okay, how would you block the door? Change around it?
Well, we still haven't found the necromancer here either.
You know what, I mean, you're the only one who understands.
In the book. That's a separate threat, isn't it?
No corpses over there.
Well, they're probably not in the book.
Did you actually kill the necromancer?
No, someone else did. I think they entered the doorway.
You did smell a strong sense of decay as you entered this island, like when you hopped onto this island. Not noticing the door, you smelled a strong sense of
The only problem I have is this realm is somehow connected to the realm of shadows.
Most realms connect to each other. The heavens used to be like a highway between the planes.
Yes.
As Jonathan understand, there's parallels between the dimensions. If this is a gateway to the realm of the god of pain or the angel of pain, you'd expect it to be infernal roots digging in. With any gateway, any warren, as you understand the colloquial name for it, will have residue leaking across the ground. It's strange that there's no other residue but the things that prevent decay.
Well, the other option is we've got Marcus, who is strong enough to take on Reshkadol.
Yes.
Maybe we take a rest outside, get back to our full, and then come in here just to sort of confirm everything is dead. And then we stick together so that I can pound this all out. Once everything is confirmed dead, then we can close off the door. But I think closing off the door without knowing what's behind it is a bad idea.
I like that idea because we get to leave this book now.
All right.
Are you alright with it, Marcus?
You Marcus. And
could you?
you will go around. I don't think they do that.
Oh, I'm going to stay outside the book and never enter this place again. But you can re-enter, yes.
Sure.
He's wise, but I think it would be fine.
I think. I mean, look, this is terrifying. But I think we need at least some assurance that everything is going to be cleared after this. I don't think we can go in now.
If Marcus stays in the book, we can just enter if a demon lord suddenly appears in the material plane.
But then we're waiting until calamity happens. We need to be proactive, not reactive.
Cool, proactive will probably kill us, and I have a family. I have a child I need to keep safe outside, and the city's not safe.
Marcus stays on that.
The book is portable. We can just move to the room, to a different city.
He thinks he can rest anywhere.
What if you
he doesn't think this is a great enough threat to stop him.
stay outside the book? I'm going to Marcus, and then
He's got
as soon as it's cleared off,
in the
I will just suck on those
An
drugs.
angel inside you. Do you think you'll be able to accept more power in the demon's realm?
I hope you will at least be able to
If any creature lives in there, which these cultists seem to be.
They're gonna leave it out there. There's money
But I do think we need to do this.
There's cultists across the ground, and
I don't think there's any point in closing the door or confirming.
they do take
Maybe not tomorrow we come back in, but in a few days.
Marcus, if you took a day's rest, would you be willing to go in with me?
I'm willing to go in right now.
I know that, but convening first.
Time boost.
Alright.
Time is fast.
Can you look around here for 4 hours?
Oh, yeah. We just be outside. You won't have to wait that long.
The 4 hours will be 12 hours outside. Yes, that's a great time. That's a good idea. It was just still been there for 4
We can
hours.
just leave the book now.
Yeah, because I'm doing a 12-hour head start. So you got 12-hour rest. You get 4 hours.
Or if you just waited 2 hours, and then I'll come back in.
2 hours is
Because that would allow me to get enough of a rest.
8 hours.
I'll give you 24 hours. Okay, you want to?
Sure. 24 hours out time, which is like
24 hours in here.
okay.
And you're not going to be able to while resting. Sure.
I don't know why you want to.
You'll do a sense motive roll on that?
This guy could obviously beat the.
By the way, that's 96 hours he's willing to do outside of this book.
Yeah, he's saying he'll give us
24 hours inside this.
inside the book.
Times it.
96 hours. Times 4. How's that? 20. 20?
Do your roll.
Make a bluff, or if you're just being honest, make diplomacy.
Remember what his intimidate
I said plus 15.
I roll 20. I roll higher, but it's being critical.
Alright. And then, as soon as we... I just want to confirm the risk that won't be an issue anymore.
That's fine.
And then we can close off the door.
You even get switchers saying, I can't sense it in here, but if we are outside, even if I don't see it, I should be able to feel its menacing presence.
Alright, Oscar. What hurts me? Would you like some genuine advice? Sure. Abandon them. Go after your family. Yeah. The last spent in service of others is not an appealing one. I'm aware of that.
I was thinking we just go up to your family after this.
I think when it comes to this sort of thing, I choose the family I have at the moment. And after that, I will go after my family. That's your choice, Jonathan. I suggest you tell your furry friend to throw that scabbard in a deep pit somewhere. If the horse lord comes after it, he will not have a good time. The horse lord?
You already
Might as well fail that and fly off somewhere else.
Before you go,
were still
if there are any undead around, please kill them.
No response.
Okay, let's I don't want to stay a second longer.
What do you guys do?
Bad out.
Alright,
John.
yes. Imric joins.
That's why no, I'm still talking about it.
Yeah, take that bit.
It's too expensive.
It's expensive. I paid 1,000 gold silver for that. I would laugh at
Do it. Domino just...
I sure hope we landed correctly.
Now, let's look up the plane shift rules, because I believe you have an object that has just an object tethering into the Solomon sentence. You arrive in the ruins of
I was going to say it's like 14 hours ago.
Hypos Heights.
Oh my god.
Actually, to the you're right. You're one district away from the illuminated mission. So you're his place is 3 hours away from the shelter.
Alright, let's see. Yeah. Great, now we're going to travel 77.
Instead of making you travel across the whole continent, I feel like you've got an object tethered.
The speed is 50 miles per hour while we're moving normally for the plane of shadows.
We use it later, so
Yeah.
You're not moving into the plane of shadows yet. No.
yeah, let's go. We can watch the Shattered Realm, but we will find something later.
It's basically Golden's teleport.
And there's that smell of burning and blood. It's way better than blood.
Steam from the outskirts of the shadows.
That makes sense.
What a horrific sight.
I feel like watering dead.
Are we going to go down the brook? In the church. That's probably the closest we can be. Or do we
I mean, sure. It's a video in your children. So
It's about 4.5 hours to back to Hens versus Temple. It's about 3 hours to the temple.
then maybe we just rest here. Not like I've got spare beds in the basement.
Where are we in the house?
You're right out the front of the large bridge, which heads to his bar. You're at the entrance.
I would like to see my children.
I'll head to the church then. You can head to your kids, and then just maybe in a few hours.
Alright, come on, Loki. We'll go faster than me.
Thank you.
So where are you going?
Now,
You going to church? I'm going to church funds first now.
We're going to the temple of refugees.
I'll see you soon.
We left your children at the temple.
I want to say goodbye.
you ordered them to return back to the place.
They're going with the parade of soldiers.
And actually, this one, yes, the party soldiers, David.
So you're going to go together. I will be working.
No,
Never mind. Alright.
So Rizriel tells Oscar as he runs that there is no sense of the being Lord.
mission accomplished. Easy clap.
But Rizriel's like, well, I'm not strong anymore, but you know, let's do it.
The demon lords are around. Sleeper engage.
Exactly.
See, Oscar.
Ancient dragon turns off sword stops working.
I'm ready to save.
Sword becomes flaccid.
See, you've never fostered 600 years later.
As you arrive at the temple district, the illuminated district,
Okay, you have 7 friends in your head.
that's why I'm killing people, because everyone needs me. Find your children.
Oh, children.
You find Sophia. You find Neoway. And you don't see Karen or Ray. They tell you pretty quickly that they recently came into the council room. Karen first watch as you emerge. Suddenly, 2 Perdition Knights emerge from the front of the temple.
And they kill you.
And then behind that is Karen. Less adorned pieces of his armor that was already broken are still broken. But you notice there is a dull purple glow emerging from his eyes now. In the shade of where any iris would be. Just a dull purple.
That seems slightly sinister.
I like him.
Aaron, what's wrong with your eyes?
Karen walks towards the room.
We're going to be in God. You might be taken by the servant God.
In the same glow as the Asheron gods that just have been stocked still, and since you left, that was hours ago.
They're protecting us. They're protecting the refugees. They can't.
Karen did something.
Remember I did say that this.
We need your assistance.
Suffer as a bad.
Sure.
I am no longer an impartial vote. He turns, starts to walk back to the temple.
What does that mean? My children are in there. I'm going to follow.
Your children are out with you.
Oh,
You've been slowly confident in them, saying that you survived and that you ultimately they were less worried, and you went through some hurdles. They're surprisingly a lot less worried than you expected them to be because you were confident in them.
Comforting my centaur daughter and my orc son.
Yeah, once the transport concludes, you rest the dragon at the outside of the barracks, kind of.
Jonathan just goes down.
And it takes the dragon.
That's horrifying. Okay.
Soren emerges, looking into the air.
Okay, well, there's like sort of like fake people gods from Asura. Sort of like have their minds destroyed, so they're like perfect weapons to the gods.
Yes.
And now Aaron's probably over to him.
That's fast. It will take like years to do that to a person. Break their mind.
No.
Yeah, magic is a little easier.
I ain't no comfortable here.
There's a reason why we hate enchanted wizards most.
And gods. The reason why he hates
There's all the refugees here, right? Or
Yeah, there's about 1,000. There's a lot of people, but it's a big courtyard space. So, and most of them are actively, coming back from gathering water from the stream outside the city. So most of them are kind of like coming in, coming out a little bit more confidently. But they tell you reports that in the center of the city there is now a huge crater. They've been hearing collision sounds in the center of the city, decently far away from where they are, where you are. And it stopped about 3.5 hours ago.
Do you think they want us to go in and report now or something? Otherwise, before them? I think I want to.
I think you said right now. It's not even not.
Aaron didn't even like gesture to you because you were talking to your kids. He just walked up to basically. I'd say John was there, but yeah, John mostly Imric, directly facing Imric.
That he's not impartial anymore. We need to learn on something.
He's not impartial. He's not.
We are not people in this town. I don't think we'll get a vote.
I don't think I would carry it.
We are rootless.
Well, we're going to stay or leave.
I think you don't wish to influence the politics at
I will
this
be
region.
there to help them.
Okay, you wish to.
You wish to do that, but we have our own.
He doesn't try to do it.
Yes.
I guess I'll do it. I love being important.
I'm going to rest up with my kids.
Kids are almost begging you not to let go. I will reluctant to let you go, but they're almost begging. Stay.
Begging.
As you enter,
I saw them
I love dictating policy. The bomb. The bomb and
you immediately enter to hear discourse. Discourse, and specifically between elegant sounding woman voice, not old. You'd almost say elegant.
Impossible.
The sound of the king, which both of you have never heard speak, but Ray, you've heard escorted him to this place from the king's keep. You hear as you enter, in the middle of conversation, this elegant woman's voice. You humans put faith in the concept of humanity and just actions, and while justice itself is desirable, we reason that humans seek to act because rewards can be gained in the afterlife, in the present, or in the past. You will have to convince me, as someone who has an outside understanding of what you see as justice. There is a reason we fled from the capital city, Amlong, a home of justice, before your tribe of humans ever arrived. An unjust life to you is for us the definition of controlling our own destiny. A fate sown with chaos is one the old father of trees prepared us for. I'll conclude this. A larger conversation that you have entered into. The king, a voice you haven't heard before, but is speaking with a kind of conviction you expected him to have. But as you notice, Ray's probably looking a bit surprised. Just like there's a bit of surprise on his face. Seemingly Ray's been at the back of this courtroom now where you guys are. Objection. You take this. Oh, I should have also mentioned, in the very center of the room is the Sephira that flew you guys to the hand. Dead center of the room, giant sphinx body, curled wings.
It's a little worrying.
No, I'm sure and you see the king. The king is on the right of the king is on the right of the chamber, and this what you heard was an elven woman. You see ice-like blue cloak gathered around, ice threads through her hair, but like black hair.
Pretty schmexy.
Semi-tall, but not taller than Emmerich. Elegant.
That's not really tall at all, man.
Well, not for a female, she's pretty tall.
We're completely battered.
You are
stained, covered in
like
dust, and smashed, smelling like shit, and we just walk away after this station. Never mind, I have never done that.
Fair point. Both of you are now looking much more clean.
You pressed it to me.
Do you want to continue? What does he tell me to do it to
Yeah,
himself?
sure, why not?
Emmerich looks like shit. Yes.
I mean, I didn't ask, so maybe not.
You don't ask. But Emmerich's like cloaked up, so realistically half of his scuff marks are covered. You hear the king.
My 7 broken ribs don't bother me.
Because with choosing our own fate, Queen Namira, we can elevate our people. I see it as a natural desire, wanting to gain more.
Emmerich, you know Queen Namira, East Haven, far northern Elven. She
Exodus? Nice.
She left.
She that bitch.
Wanting to gain more. And the only reason we don't act unjust is because we do not want unjust things to occur to us. Maybe elves don't see such a cynical view. In a way, it is a contract of ideals, like Inspirus says. But if our whole city was unjust, then this city's destruction would have occurred in the earlier years in history of this continent. When everyone has something to lose, it is a social contract. That is enough. No outside validation or pressure will help that. It will only remove the unjust freedom you seem to be so fond of, Queen Amelia.
My boy. He's leading.
This is a king.
This is the king.
Deal with it.
But unlike the gods and the angels whose power held them so far apart from each other, they could not look at their own shared experiences. Unlike our creators, our need for each other assures us we are not alone. We have perspectives that help us look beyond the so-called social contract to our own concepts of justice. Justice is just humanity. Justice is the culmination of everything a free human being can do. Every time we cry or laugh, all that adds together to make us. Our experiences make us human beings, and it makes us all individuals despite our need for one another. That alone is powerful. But let me ask Sephra, have you laughed or cried? You know what it feels like to be human. If not, then how could you justify ruling us? To be a so-called descendant ruler, you speak as if you have that humanity inside you. But then why haven't we already joined together with the Isaurian religions? Ever since I was a boy, I looked at the eastern lands with awe and reverie, but being informed from experiences of those who wished to leave, it was a place of forced loyalty. Your ploy of unjust control is what the founders of this city ran from. Our ancestors may have not made this land with the righteous intention of faith. I see what they saw 500 years ago. The further we are from your land, the greater freedom we have. And let me ask you this, council and fellow citizens. Do we wish to lose the thing that they could take from us? The only thing left? For a chance at civility and justice according to their doctrines? This court's hearing will decide the fate of the last of us here and the one safe in Caligo holds. Is it us or them?
We will end the